Yeah.
This is incredible, B. That's really all I have to say about this. This is just it's wow. That I'm almost at a loss for words, but what I do know for a fact is the Boston Celtics do not look like the tougher team. The team in red, I see a better coach, more disciplined, more poised, more confident, well-rounded unit. Big Ox, I see a better unit. I see a team that's together. I see a Boston Celtic team that's not sure of themselves. Even though they have more talent, even though they have better players, I don't see a team that's as confident as the other team. I see a team that's kind of waiting for that other team, the Miami Heat. It's almost like they're waiting for them to roll over.
So does that? Are you saying that more talent, better players doesn't necessarily equal a better team, a better squad?
That's why I hate having the conversation of who's the better basketball player. The reason why is because I've seen better basketball players get outplayed. Prime example would be right now. Jason Tatum is a better basketball player than Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler 100% is outplaying him. 100% he's outplaying him. To watch him last night, which is kind of ironic considering who he's doing it against, which is the Boston Celtics, Big Ox. It's ironic because the last player that I saw with that kind of confidence was Larry Bird. I'm going to get to my spot. This is what I'm going to do, and you ain't going to do a damn thing about it.
So what does that say about Jimmy Butler?
What does that say about Jimmy Butler? That says to me that Jimmy Butler is a primetime player with immense confidence. I don't think we underrate him. The thing about being underrated, it depends on where you rate it at, Big Ox, because you could have somebody rated 6 and they really should be 10. That's overrated. But you could have somebody at 5 and they should be at 3. That's underrated. Now, when I look at Jimmy Butler, before the season started, I had Jimmy Butler as a top 10 player in the game. I wasn't on the fence about that. I wasn't thinking, well, no. I was like, I said, take the name off the back of the jersey before the season started. Take the name off the back of the jersey. Twice in the last 3 years, this guy led his team to the NBA Finals, got swept, then came back and was a shot away from getting back to the NBA Finals. He's made the All-NBA team, and he's made the All-League defensive team. How are we talking about him? That's a top 10 player. I'm like, that's Jimmy Butler. That's Jimmy Butler. What I don't care about. I don't care about your bag, and I don't care about how flashy you are. And the reason why I don't care about that as much, Ox, is because I care about what you produce.
Right.
With that, it could look great. It could look. In the words of my man Big Ox, vanity is something else, man. Vanity is something else. It could look great, but if it's not going anywhere, Kyrie Irving, that looks fantastic what he does.
Yeah.
But what does it lead to ultimately? Because if you look at a guy like Jimmy Butler, there's really not much that he does that's extracurricular. His game is not a lot of flash. It's not a lot of charisma. It's straight to the point. It's 2 dribbles, pull up. It's 2 dribbles to the lane, pull up. It's take you to the basket, dunk on you. That's Jimmy Butler's game with an immense amount of confidence.
It's beautiful to watch.
It is. And it just seeps into everybody else on that crew. Duncan Robinson is shooting the basketball like I'm running with him. Max Strus is shooting the basketball, looking more confident than ever. Kyle Lowry, who I thought was over, to be honest with you, Big Ox.
Yeah,
I was thinking, what are they doing with him? I thought he was over. And he looks like the floor general, just maybe a little older version, but he still looks solid. Like I can still make shots. I can still control the pace of the game. I can still keep my troops calm. Even though Bam has missed shots. I think Bam went something like 6 for 16 yesterday, something like that. He stayed on the backboard. Bam was dealing like no other. And he was exposing. I thought that he exposed them defensively, particularly getting on the backboard, right? And the one thing I didn't appreciate with Bam, they came out of the timeout. And this is Bam on the regular Big Ox. They came out of a timeout and they had a set between both Jimmy Butler and Max Strus. Bam's got the ball. He's about 18 feet away from the basket. The set looks like it's to get Jimmy the ball. No, I'm sorry. The set looks like Jimmy's going to set the screen for Max Strus. Max Strus is going to curl, and he's going to come off and pop, only except Strus wasn't open. And then he clears out. So now Bam has Hartford one-on-one on the wing. I'm thinking to myself, go after him. There's nobody else. There's nobody else over there. But he's looking to still run the play. And what that suggests to me, Big Ox, is when you're doing stuff like that, one of two things is going on. Either you are enthralled in the system, or you ain't really that confident in your ability. And if you ain't that confident in your ability, what that tells me is that you ain't working on your game. That's the only thing that I can think of, because I see guys who've worked on their games. Jimmy Butler. There's a reason why Jimmy Butler is as confident as he is, because Jimmy Butler puts the work in. It's obvious that he does.
Oh yeah.
It's obvious that he puts the work in to get better. Same thing with Jason Tatum. He's gotten better. It's obvious that he's gotten better, but they just look like a better coached team. So, for example, Big Ox, you talked about making adjustments with Doc Rivers. Well, Eric Spoelstra went into a zone, and they started picking that apart, where Jason Tatum got into the pick and roll action, and he was able to get Jimmy Butler. He was able to get Gabe Vincent on his heels. And in the process of getting Gabe Vincent on his heels, now you got the big man stepping up, and he's dropping it on the baseline to Grant Williams. Or he's firing it out to Marcus Smart. One of those guys getting wide open looks. Well, how did Eric Spoelstra adjust to that? Did he completely just go away from the zone? Nah, what he's going to do is, I'm going to stay with the zone, only except it's now going to be a matchup zone. I'm going to disguise it now. So instead of all my guys being spread out, it's going to look like a zone. It's going to look like it's one-on-one, only except we're just covering a certain area. You're going to get to this space, and then he's going to take over like a zone. And then that flustered the Boston Celtics. Jason Tatum wasn't able to get much at that point.
Yeah, so I noticed that, and then there was a couple more things I noticed. I'll bring them up as we go. But the first one I want to talk about is Duncan Robinson. I saw something yesterday in Duncan Robinson. He was getting a lot of backdoor cuts. Mm-hmm. Duncan Robinson got a few layups. I won't say a lot, but I saw at least 4. Mm-hmm. I saw at least 4 where he was coming out and he was. I've never seen Duncan Robinson score in the paint like that.
No, me neither.
So I noticed that was something that really stuck out to me. Like, did you notice the same thing, Chip?
Well, not only Duncan Robinson, he caught Matt. I saw Bam catch Max Strus on the back door. Uh-huh. I saw him also catch. I also saw him catch Gabe Vincent on the back door, and that was largely due to how spread out the offense was.
Right.
So when you got long ball shooters like Strus, when you got long ball shooters like Duncan Robinson, that lineup that they had on the floor with also Gabe Vincent, who I think Gabe Vincent made a lot of money this season. 100%. I think he earned himself a long-term contract with somebody. 100%. So when you got guys that are shooting the basketball like Gabe Vincent is shooting it, Duncan Robinson, the way he's shooting the basketball, the way he's shooting it, and Strus, who did a complete 180 from last year in the playoffs. Uh-huh. He's completely different today. So when you're doing that, now you got these guys spread out. In the process of having these dudes spread out, now we got action off the basketball. Spo is so good at movement off the basketball. If you watch his offense, it's a mixture of motion and kind of what the not the San Antonio Spurs, and kind of what the Golden State Warriors do. Like a lot of dribble handoffs, not a lot of watching and standing around. Mm-hmm. When a guy has the ball on the weak side, you see a guy cutting to the basket. Nobody's watching. You constantly keeping the defense moving. I've told you this before, Big Ox. When the ball is moving, that means the defense is moving. And if the defense is moving, the defense is off balance. And that's basically what Eric Spoelstra was doing with the Boston Celtics yesterday. And it worked. It worked to perfection. Yeah. It did.
Yeah. So, and this the thing about Gabe Vincent. So I am shocked, but I'm not. So my trainer in high school, Eric Armstead from the 49ers.
Okay. Yeah.
Eric Armstead. So his dad, Gus Armstead, is like top trainer in Sacramento. So he used to train Gabe Vincent during like the summertime. So I've seen Gabe Vincent filling it up before. Right. I'm not saying that to say I expected this from Gabe, but I knew he had a little talent. But I'm really impressed by the eye over there in Miami to see these diamonds in the rough. That's amazing. That's amazing out of him. I really would like to congratulate them and get in them flowers, their flowers on that, on taking chances on guys because sports are so political. It's
It
hard.
is.
It's hard. It's a lot of guys. If you didn't go to a high one of the Power Five conferences or
Right.
something like that, it's hard to get a look. So I really, I commend Miami on that.
Shout out to Gabe Vincent. Gabe Vincent went to UCSB, the Big West.
Yeah,
I went to Utah State. The big. We in the same conference. Shout out to Gabe Vincent. 100%.
And Caleb Martin.
Shout out to him too.
I saw Caleb Martin last night finish like five contested layups over Robert Williams.
Mm-hmm.
He's attacking Robert Williams, and that's one thing. Not to switch teams or anything, but that's what I was saying about in the West.
Mm-hmm.
If Anthony Davis is your shot blocker, aren't you supposed to attack his chest?
Yes.
So I'm seeing some things from Miami, and so a couple things that we've been seeing from Miami. What does that say about Eric Spoelstra?
It says a lot about Eric Spoelstra. The thing that we don't talk nearly enough about, we don't talk about Eric Spoelstra, his ability to keep his troops together. Like the X and O stuff, if you're a pro coach, you should be able to X and O. Either you got it or somebody on your bench got it. Him, on the other hand, he's able to keep his troops together, and he's able to keep them confident. You got to earn the trust of your guys as a pro coach, because again, when you get to that level, a lot of those guys feel like they already know the game. So in order for you to get that respect, you got to show that you know the game too, right? Because they're going to challenge you. Prime example would be Jimmy Butler. When Jimmy Butler first got to the Miami Heat, he did challenge Eric Spoelstra. He was asking questions. Well, what about this? What about that right there? And if this is your main guy asking questions about what's going on with your crew, how do I deal with backdoor cuts? If I'm here on the split action, do I come to the basketball? Do I curl and delay in the paint? Do I go all the way through? You got to answer these questions. And when you answer them and you answer them confidently, you develop that trust with your crew. I think that's what Eric Spoelstra has been doing with this crew more than anything. And you got to also remember too, Big Ox, what tree is he cut from? What cloth is he cut from? I mean, he came up under Pat Riley. And coming up under Pat Riley, you get one of the first things Pat Riley did when he was with the Lakers, when he was with the Knicks, and with the Miami Heat. One of the first things that he did was he got the respect of the guys. And he got the respect of the guys by not just by showing that I got the rings. No, I wasn't just there. I know what I'm talking about. And this is how we're going to get this done. Spo is one of the best game managers. He's one of the best in-game adjusters. And I can't say that I've seen a coach with the least amount of talent do more. I can't say that I've seen it. And Spo has done that consistently.
Real quick, Chilltown, as you know, Super Chats run this show.
Yes,
so let's get to a couple of these real quick before we keep going on.
Yeah.
Actually, this one says from Kyle Anglin, chill. You done dismissing the Heat now?
Yeah, I am. Yes, sir, I am. I was watching that game last night, and when the game was over, Big Ox, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, and this might be a shock to you, but I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I don't know if we're coming back up here. I think this thing is over. I'm not sure if we're coming back up here. I'm not.
Really?
I'm not sure if we're coming back up here. Really? I think this thing might be over. They got the better coach. They got the more disciplined unit. They got the tougher unit. They're more poised. They got the better. Their best player is playing better. Mm-hmm. He's outplaying their best player. What I took away from that game last night, watching it, I'm being honest with you, Big Ox. I'm thinking to myself, I don't know if we're coming back up here. I think this thing is over. I don't think we're coming back up here. If you had to ask me today, I don't think we're coming back up here.
Chat, y'all heard it here first. Chilltown says it's time to bring out the brooms in the Eastern Conference. Y'all, how do y'all feel about that?
I'm a Jason Tatum guy. Everybody knows that I had the Milwaukee Bucks, Boston Celtics winning the NBA championship. And now I'm looking at these two teams, and I can honestly say, I don't know. I'm not sure if we're coming back up here. I'm not. I think this thing might be over. 100%.
Chat, you heard it here first. Jersey Love. Stell's looking at Grant like, why? And Grant looking back like, y'all not helping me guard this MF. Y'all ducking, not me.
Right. Well, here's two things about that, Big Ox. Number one, this is what we talk about. We talk about in-game adjustments. So you already saw Coach Bud leave Drew Holiday on the island against Jimmy Butler. And this is Jimmy. I'm sorry, Jrue Holiday is regarded as the best perimeter defender in the game, and buckets torched him. Nah, he ain't gonna do that with us. Nah, we're gonna leave him over there with Grant Williams by himself. We're not gonna jump him. We're not gonna help him. He's the one who started this, so let him deal with him. When in reality, that's why the Miami Heat are as good as they are, because they ride with the guy who has the most confidence. They riding with him. He's their leader. Remember when you and me had this conversation, Big Ox? We talked about the Memphis Grizzlies and what their leader is, and he's a lot of yapping, and that's what it is with that's what resonates through their crew. Well, if you look at the Miami Heat, their leader, Jimmy Butler, not a lot of yapping, a lot of encouragement, a lot of putting your arm around guys, but also getting in guys' face too. And what that does is that exudes through the rest of the crew. That exudes through the rest of the crew, and you see where they are. I got a problem with them dudes not riding with Grant Williams. Like Marcus Smart was supposed to get involved in that. Jason Tatum was supposed to get involved in that. You don't just let him handle that. No, that's not just for him to handle. You the best player on the team. You the second best player on the team. You the leader of the team. Yo, I'm not gonna let my Big Ox. It's like being in the game. So one of us gets into a fight with this dude and with a bigger dude, and we just gonna let him deal with it and get his ass kicked. No,
man.
No.
And this NBA basketball in the playoffs, you got to go help your boy. I got to hold Jaylen Brown accountable too. I know. A lot of times I give Jaylen a lot of slack. Today is not the day for that. Jaylen Brown was supposed to be like, Grant, watch out, bro. Watch out.
No,
Let me do this.
You did it with James Harden, did you? You did it with James Harden. I'm gonna deal with him.
So my thing, like, so for me, you know, I'm playing rec leagues and pickup ball and stuff now, you know. So I'm my rule, like, so I've told LeBron this a few times. Like, yo, if you're not guarding him, don't talk to him. If I'm guarding him, if you're gonna talk, come get him, you know. Mm-hmm. But this ain't that. This is the Eastern Conference Finals. If you know, you got to ride with your boy. If he started it, you got to go help him finish it. Cause
you have to, yo. You have
to. When I was looking at it, I'm like, Grant, leave him alone. Like, what are you doing, Grant? Y'all up right now. Don't
Here's the thing, though, Big Ox. I don't mind that, and the reason why I don't mind that because that's part of basketball. There's times when I watch the game. Jason Tatum hit a shot on Caleb Martin, and I think it was in the first half. He threw it between his legs, stepped back, and Caleb Martin was all over him. Caleb Martin was all over him, and he hit it right in his face. Now I'm thinking to myself, the kind of player that I am, I might have said something to him about that one. Mm-hmm. I don't mean that I would have said something to him the entire game, but I might have said something to him about that one. Mm-hmm. I might have said something to him, and it might have been something subtle like "gotcha" or "yep," something similar. But I don't. That's just part of the game. And when Grant Williams, I mean, he's poking at Jimmy Butler. So what?
I'm with the you know, I'm with all that. You know, I'm nudging you. I'm saying little things. But when Jimmy Butler is a dormant volcano, when he's being docile, when he's just out there, you shouldn't tempt the storm. That's all I'm saying. Don't tempt the storm.
Which is fair. And my only rebuttal to that is I'm only doing it because I'm under the impression that, you know, I'm running with a dog too. So I ain't scared of the storm. I got an umbrella. I'm not scared of that. If it start raining, I got an umbrella.
Yeah, I got a raincoat.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Bring it.
At least he thought so.
Yeah, bring it. Obviously he didn't.
It's all laughs. Says the fact that Hero isn't even back yet and can return soon. Miami is looking at every team left, including the Nuggets and LA, like we can beat them.
I'm not really feeling Hero getting back in the lineup, though, to be honest with you. Like, we rolling right now. So to get Hero back in the lineup and think that he's just going to get back to what he was, I ain't really feeling that. No, I'm not. Because
the wrist he broke was his shooting hand, right?
It was his shooting hand. Yeah.
Yeah, sit him. He got to sit. He got to sit down.
Yeah. I'm cool with slowly bringing him back. What we got going right now, we got good energy. We got a good staff. And to push back on something that Jimmy Butler said, which it irked me a little bit when Jimmy Butler said, quote, "I don't care. We don't care what you guys say." Yes, you do. You're not just playing just for the love of the game. Yes, you do. The villain cares about what people say. Everybody cares about what people say. Big Ox, the first time you saw your name in the newspaper, that was a big deal to you,
Very
right?
big deal, yeah.
The first time you saw your name, first time you saw your picture in the newspaper, that was a big deal to you. Bill Laimbeer, he cared what the people said about him, even if it was bad. You care about what they say about you. And the reason why you care is because this ain't just about basketball. This is about you being loved. Oh, you don't think that I can do this? Oh, you don't think that we're good enough? Don't tell me that you're not listening to that, because you absolutely are. That's how you develop that, number one, that competitive spirit. And number two, once you do it, that's how you develop that confidence. Well, who else got something to say? Because this isn't just about well, you said it, and we shutting all of y'all up, all of you guys up. That's why Jordan was so good. That's exactly why Jordan was so good, because his attitude was, oh, you don't think that I can do this? We're gonna show it to you. So for Buckets to say, you know, we don't care about what you guys say. Yes, you do. You and not only do you care, you listening.
Facts. Kid Arcane. Be honest, was last year a fluke for the C's, or was Ticket right about Missoula?
I don't think last year was a fluke. No, I think the Celtics were the real deal. They got going in the middle of the season, and they got hot, and they went on probably the end of February, all the way through the playoffs. They got going. There was a time during the season where I think they were at a point where they might not make the playoffs, and the question was, do we keep this group together? Is Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum really a viable duo? Should we split them up? And that wasn't the case. They actually got going. And when they got going, they really got going. I think what really hurt them was Robert Williams going out the lineup for the amount of time that he went out of the lineup. I think that really hurt them, because they were rolling with him in the lineup just defensively. And you just brought it up, Big Ox. You know, as a defensive anchor, you know, I vaguely remember guys going after Alonzo Mourning. Like I vaguely remember guys going after Mutombo. I mean, if you're the rim protector, that's your job. That's why I'm sending you in there as a perimeter player, right? I don't remember guys going after Hakeem Olajuwon, right? I don't remember guys going after David Robinson. I'm sending you in there to him. So I don't think it was a fluke. No.
Let me see what else we got here. We got a bunch. Let's keep it going. Keep it going. Oh, here we go. From Mavs fan 772. When Jimmy started going at Grant, I was like, yeah, this dude is MJ's son, and you can't convince me otherwise.
I said that. I on some level, they are related. Somewhere, I think that they're related. But honestly, Big Ox, I don't understand why we don't have more of that. That's the that wasn't. I don't think that was anything malicious. That's basketball.
Right. Yeah.
That's what basketball is. Like, he didn't swing at Jimmy. Jimmy didn't swing at him. That was just two guys being competitive. That's basketball.
Even Jimmy after the game, he was kind of. I mean, to me, you know, that was showing love. What Jimmy said at the end, like,
right?
Hey, he was coming at me. I was coming at me. I love that. Like, I think that's what, you know. Real dogs respect real dogs. Like, if you not all bark, if you really want to bite, even if I bite harder, I'm gonna respect you.
Right.
Like, at least you brought it to my front door. You know, I gotta love that.
Now, Buckets did say ultimately, I'm not really sure if I'm the one you want to balk at, but this is basketball, and I would love that if we had more of that. I would love that, because that's what the greats did. Bird stayed balking, Gary Payton, Jordan. These guys stayed balking at guys, and that's where most of us coming up. That's where we got it from.
Man, I used to hate coaches and teammates. I'd be like, "Oh, don't say nothing. That's rude." Like, man, this is what are we out here for? Like,
it's basketball.
Yeah, I can't get behind that. Okay, here's kind of a follow up from another super chat from Spoo. Who does Jimmy Butler remind you of? Well, you said Larry Bird. We talked about Jordan. If you could think of anybody else, who would you say?
Well, there was one of my good friends. This was before all of this transpired. He thought that Jimmy Butler was a better version of Gerald Wilkins, and I was like, no, you bugging out for that right there. No, Jimmy Butler is way better than Gerald Wilkins. That is not true. But if I could think of a guy, a perimeter player, like a 6, because I think Jimmy Butler is 6'7". So a guy on the perimeter, maybe he's a lesser version of of Joe Johnson.
Mm.
Kind of in that realm where maybe he's a better athlete, a slimmer, better athlete, a slimmer, better Joe Johnson, a guy like that who, Joe Johnson did a lot during the regular season, and Joe Johnson, there's a reason why they call him ISO Joe.
Yeah.
There's a reason why they called him that, and in the process of him calling him that, Joe made a lot of big shots. I think he led the NBA one season in buzzer beaters, if I'm not mistaken. So if I could think of a guy, maybe a more athletic version of ISO Joe, that's who I'm thinking about.
Okay, I can see that. Second, I'm just getting this link out here real quick before I move on to the next. I know some guys out there itching to get up here and talk a little bit, so we'll get that out there. Read a couple more super chats.
Yep.
Real quick, kind of off topic, but let's get to this because we lost a legend recently, and Sports PSP wants to know what is your best memory of Jim Brown, and RIP.
My uncle told me when I was a kid, because I was a big Walter Payton fan. My uncle told me that Jim Brown was like bumper cars. That's the kind of running back that he was. He was the kind of running back who just guys bounced off of him and he just kept running. And the fact that he was that good as a running back, he was even better. Man, my uncle, he kept telling me this too, that he was an even better dude. Like he really dug Jim Brown as a dude. Because I remember him telling me that Jim Brown, that's where he coined the phrase, he one of us. Like he struck him as one of the guys who, like, he would come to my neighborhood. He didn't actually do this, but he was the type of dude that would come to your neighborhood and just come sit right in front of your house with you and just hang out and yak with you. Yeah. That's the kind of dude Jim Brown was. And his football career, I still think Jim Brown, when I think about the best running backs of all times, I can't name 3 running backs better than him. I can't. I can't name 3 of them better than him.
Yeah, they said Jim Brown was a good dude, but he really wasn't one to play with, though.
No, he was not. He was not, Big Ox. If you're gonna come at Jim Brown, you better come correct.
Yeah, and I'm talking about off the field.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. I don't mean as a football player. I'm talking about as a man. If you're gonna come at, and this not just people, his family too. His family too. If you're gonna come at Jim Brown, you better come correct, because he wasn't for the nonsense. Nah, man, take that somewhere else. I ain't with that.
Okay, let me see. I see y'all in the lobby. We're gonna get to a couple more of these super chats.
87 years old, man. 87, and like you got a lot of people that'll mourn Jim Brown, and I'm thinking to myself, this is the worst part of life, when you got to say goodbye. But 87 years old, all the stuff that he did in his life, ran for the Cleveland Browns, is regarded as arguably, Barry Sanders' father said to his son, Jim Brown, the best I ever seen. This is after Barry Sanders was doing everything that he was doing. His father said to him, Jim Brown, the best I ever seen. And this is his son he's telling this to. And after all of that stuff, man, to be that kind of man, I'm not really, like I said, Big Ox, this is the worst part about it, when you got to say goodbye. But to be able to live the kind of life that he lived, man, if you lucky,
yeah,
that's so awesome. Damn.
Let me keep it going. A lot of people are talking about this Miami Heat Celtics matchup, so I'm gonna keep them coming.
Yep.
Chat. I'm a W host. I would never leave your super chats unread. No shade.
No, we don't do that. We don't do that around here. No, we don't. If you got something to say, you got a super chat, we're gonna talk about it. 100%.
I know. I don't want Angie Carr pulling up on me, so
she will. She'll run up on you.
Band Burners Inc. JB and JT not shooting is a tragedy for the Celtics.
You think that maybe the Miami Heat defense has something to do with that? Because like the shots that Jason Tatum was getting, he had 28. He had 28 going into the fourth quarter. I thought he was gonna have a 40-point game. That's what I thought. The way he was going, I thought he was gonna have a 40-point game. But when Spo switched up that zone and went to a matchup zone, and not only did he go to a matchup zone, he pushed it higher. So it was well beyond the pickup point with Jason Tatum, was literally right past the half court line. literally right past the half court line. And anybody that touched the ball that far away, that's where the pickup point was. There was nothing easy. Nothing easy. Now, don't get me wrong. If I'm that guy, I'm the scorer on the team, like Jason Tatum is. At some point, I got to say, just give me the ball. I'll get us something. But I got to give a lot of credit to what Eric Spoelstra did in terms of that defense. I thought he did a really good job.
Yeah, I think so. I was impressed. Like I've been saying the past couple of days, I take back everything I ever said negative about Eric Spoelstra. I take it all back. Man. This super chat right here was not first in line, but I really like this super chat, so I'm gonna pull this one up. Reggie the Tree says, "I love what Grant did. I love when non-star players don't kiss stars' butts. Last night reminds me of John Starks going at MJ or Reggie. Also, 2-on-2, Tatum and Jalen, or Paul Pierce and Antoine Walker."
Well, the first part of your question, that was basketball. That was basketball. So Jay getting into it with not just John Starks, Jay getting into it with Reggie Miller. Reggie Miller getting into it with John Starks. Isaiah getting into it with Larry Bird. Dennis Rodman getting into it with Jordan. Man, that's part of the game, Big Ox. We can't say that enough. Yapping is part of the game. But as long as it's in the competitive spirit of the game, like you got guys who are disrespectful with it, where they talk about your mother and they talk about kids and they do stuff like that, where I have no respect for them dudes when they do stuff like that, because now this ain't about basketball no more. This is you not being that good, and now you trying to get a competitive advantage. You trying to get an advantage against me doing dirty stuff. I have no respect for guys like that. But when you got guys like, I watched Jordan. I'll never forget this. This is during the 92 Eastern Conference semifinals. He hit a baseline shot on John Starks, and this was on the right side of the floor. I'm sorry, on the left side of the floor. It was a head-shoulder fake, and he hits this jump shot. Big Ox, when I tell you that, he chased Starks all the way across the floor. In the process of him chasing Starks, he caught him at the other end, and you could read his lips. He said to Starks, "I'm going to bust your ass all night, and you ain't going to do nothing about it." Like, that's basketball.
Yeah, I love that.
That's basketball right there, man. Do something about it. Oh, no, you ain't. No, you're not.
I got to say, I really, really like John Starks a lot. Like, I love the fact that John Starks was always on Jordan's line. Like, he wasn't, even when Jordan was giving him work, he wasn't backing down. I always loved that about John Starks. He was not playing. He was not playing with Michael Jordan.
To answer your question, Reggie Treat, the second part of your question, Tatum and Jaylen Brown, Paul Pierce and Antoine Walker. I think Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are the two are more talented, even though Antoine was a dog. I would have to go Twan and Paul Pierce.
Yeah, that's where I'm going. That's where I'm going for sure.
I'd have to go Twan and Paul Pierce. I think so.
I don't think either one of those two want to guard either one of those two. Like Jalen and Jason do not want to guard Paul Pierce and Antoine
Jason
Walker.
Tatum wants nothing to do with Antoine Walker. Nothing. 6'9", big body, super nice with the peel, could knock down the mid-range, could also knock down the three, get to the bucket against the best of them. Yeah. I don't think he wants nothing to do with him. Nothing.
Jay Nudie. Chill. Are you still questioning Butler's intangibles, i.e., example, leadership, team building, accountability, etc.? Over D Wade. Over D Wade. Never seen D Wade lead his Heat team like this.
That's not true. Whoa. That is not true, my man. Jay Nudie, that is not true. I saw him do that in 2009. He just ran up on a better unit. And he didn't have and I understand this. I understand this Miami Heat team is I understand that this Miami Heat team is not as talented, but I saw Dwayne Wade. I saw those guys get behind him and him take them as far as he could go. I think what you're trying to do is you're trying to sell me that leadership thing. Dwayne Wade's one of the best leaders in the game. What leaders do is they do what it takes to win. So, for example, Dwayne Wade getting on the Olympic team and being the sixth man, and not just being a sixth man, taking a back seat and accepting his role. That's a leader. Team building. I don't know anybody that ever had a problem with Dwayne Wade. And when I say not have a problem with him, the guys that were on the team when he was building it around him, They accepted who Dwayne Wade was. No problem. I've never heard Dwayne Wade point the finger at anybody. I've always heard Dwayne Wade accept responsibility for any and everything. So the idea of accountability, that's not who Dwayne Wade isn't. Dwayne Wade is absolutely that. I don't think Jimmy Butler is better than him at that. No, you're not selling me that one. No way.
I mean, there's that for me, like the leadership and all that. But Dwayne Wade is a better basketball player than Jimmy Butler as well. And I love Jimmy Butler, and I always have. But just because what we're seeing right now is not gonna, I'm not gonna take this and act like I would take Jimmy Butler over Dwayne Wade. And that's no disrespect to either one of them. I love both of them, but D Wade was something different. Man.
He was, yo.
That's just my opinion. That's my opinion. Y'all obviously don't have to agree with me.
Mine too.
Mr. Fantastic 824. Eric Spoelstra not getting his respect as a great coach. He's the coach everyone claimed Doc Rivers is. Spo just hasn't had the roster talent to support his coaching process.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has. When he had LeBron James, when he had Dwayne Wade, when he had Mike Miller, when he had Chris Bosh. Yes, he did. And you saw what happened. They went to the NBA championship 4 years in a row. So yes, he did. And everyone claimed he is who Doc Rivers was. Who is everyone? Because I never put Spo and Doc Rivers in the same category. Never. Not one time did I think that Doc Rivers was the same caliber coach. I always felt like Spo was a better coach than Doc Rivers. I always felt like that. I don't know who this everyone is that you're talking about. No, because I never felt like Spo wasn't a better coach than Doc Rivers, because I always felt like he was.
A1J1. Can we finally give MA some respect? Seeing how Joe is handling the team, this team looks rough.
Well, I don't think that we didn't give MA any respect. I think Coach Udoka knew exactly what he had with this unit, and he got the best out of that unit. It wasn't like they was just rolling and that was just off the strength of them. Remember, Big Ox, there was a stretch where we wasn't sure if they was going to make the playoffs. Only except they did end up making the playoffs, and that was largely due to Ime Udoka demanding that Jason Tatum be a better defender, demanding that Jaylen Brown be a better defender, demanding that these guys do more, as opposed to just letting this thing ride and let the chips fall where they may. I'm a first-year coach, so there's really not much that's expected of me. No, he didn't do that. So the idea that Coach Udoka wasn't getting his respect, I mean, I respected him 100%. I did.
Fellas, y'all watch. I'm pretty sure y'all up here to talk about this Celtics Heat series.
Yeah, man. Amen.
Yo, what up, bro?
A lot of people were giving the Heat respect, man. I gotta give Ox credit, man. He said Heat in 6. It's looking that way right now. I ain't gonna lie, it's looking that way.
Well, Chilltown said Heat in 4. So.
I don't think it's coming back to Boston. I don't think
they'll get one.
I don't think
they get swept.
They get one. I don't think they're getting swept, bro.
I don't think they're coming back up here. I just don't. I'm looking at
that. My super chat was in reference to post LeBron, of course, Chill. Of course, I'm not talking about with LeBron. I like, because everybody gave, or most, and I say everybody, the league especially, and I'm talking about like the paid people talk about how great Doc Rivers is. Doc Rivers is choked every year he didn't have one of the most legendary teams of all time. That's what I'm saying. So when I say everybody, I'm talking about the people that get paid.
Well, not only that, let me ask you this question. If you got a guy in the league who, let's say he won an NBA championship 12 years ago, do we still talk, and he getting bounced every year in the first round, do we still talk about him like he the best player in the game?
No.
That's Doc Rivers as a coach.
But that's what I'm telling you. Doc Rivers has still been, he hasn't won anything. He got bounced in some of the biggest positions, and he still he's first at the top of the list of every head coaching job. He's never been waiting. So that's the point I'm making.
Which I'm trying to make sense of why he keeps getting that opportunity. Like, I think
that's what I'm saying. He's living off of he's still living off of that Celtics run. They literally made him, because he won that again, because and it's like non-hoopers or people that really don't know basketball. The championship really does have that that opportunity to carry you that long. Bro, he's lost three? He's lost 3-1 twice. He lost 1 3-1 series, or was it 2 of them?
3 times.
3 times? I thought it was at least 2, but 3.
Three, 2015 and 2020. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So that's what I was referring to, man. I wasn't. Spoelstra is a great coach, man. And the sad part about it, like I said, I say this too. And my bad, man. Shout out to Ox, man. Shout out to Chill. Appreciate you guys for bringing me up, bro. I don't want to be disrespectful, man. I appreciate y'all for bringing me on the platform. But Yeah, man. I think Spo is going to be in the same position this year because I just don't see them beating more likely to Denver or LA, man. I'm telling you, he's just missing that. He's missing that key piece to go along with Jimmy. Jimmy's hell, but like when it really, really crunches down against a great, great team in the finals, I just don't see them being able to beat Denver or the Lakers, man, like they handling these other players.
Well, when I see them play against, for example, Denver, like he basically, for lack of a better term, like he basically bitched Milwaukee. Can we agree on that? I feel like that's what he
hands
did.
down.
I feel like that's what he did, and they out-toughed the Knicks as a unit. I think that I think ultimately as a unit, everything that I thought the Knicks would do to them, they did to the Knicks. I think they out-toughed the Knicks because Jimmy wasn't great in that series, but overall that unit was just tougher, and I think that was the difference in this series right here. I think the same thing that went on in Milwaukee going on now. Like I think Jimmy is basically, yo, I'm better than you, and you ain't gonna do nothing about it. Well, I don't think he can do that with Joker. I just don't think he can do. That's not to say that I definitely don't think he can do that with James. Even with James at this age, I definitely don't think he can do that with James. Like I'm better than you. I don't think.
And I don't even think he's the chill. I don't even think he's the linchpin though, or the weak point. It's going to be on Bam. Bam is going to crumble under either AD or Joker. That's going to be 30 and whatever every night.
It should
every
be.
single night.
It should be.
I beg to differ, fellas. I beg to differ. I think the Miami Heat are praying that somehow the Lakers could pull this one out. I think they want LA.
I do think they want another shot at LA.
They definitely want LA.
Of course.
Not because of 2020. I think they look at LA like, oh yeah, we got something for them. I don't think Jimmy Butler has any fear in LeBron James at all. This isn't the same LeBron James from 2018, 16, 17, even 20. I think right now is Jimmy Butler's chance to prove himself, and he wants to do it against LeBron James.
Big Ox, would it be the same as how I felt about Philadelphia and how Miami looked at Philly? Like we definitely can beat them. Like Joel Embiid, and we definitely can beat them.
I think so. But I think it's even more some. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Yes, I do. I think so.
Because I was looking at that Philly Boston series, and I'm thinking Miami is looking at Philly and Joel Embiid and James Harden like we definitely can beat them. Boston, they may be tougher, but Harden and Embiid, we definitely handle them dudes. Yes.
Yeah, even as a Laker fan, I agree with Ox. I feel like they want us, and not really just because of Jimmy. I think it's just due to the fact that Bron was there in LA. I mean, was there in Miami, so they know Bron. Spoelstra know Bron. Riley got ties with Bron and the Lakers, so it's gonna be something there. But I want to ask y'all talked about Jimmy for a minute, but it is something I want to ask you, OG, because I'm a Tatum guy too, and it's something I noticed when I watch him. I'm a huge fan of him. He's a great player. Don't get me wrong, but when I watch his game, I feel like he has allowed like analytics to try to change his game. And what I mean by that is like he shoots threes at the volume of like damn near like Steph Curry. And I think that's what leads to some of his inconsistencies and some of his inefficient nights, because he's either taking threes or he's going to the rim. And sometimes, he not laying the ball up as well that night or whatever. And I'm trying to see, like, what do you think he needs to change? Because like he's shooting threes or he's going to the rim. And I feel like, especially in the playoffs, your game has to change. And when he first came in the league, it wasn't like that. But I saw it was a report that came out that he wanted to like de-Kobe-fy his game or something like that.
Right.
So like, I don't know. Like personally, I feel like he needs to adjust. He needs to try to get down in the post a bit more because he got strength now. He long. He needs to take those mid ranges. And I think that'll open things up for him, right? Like even to be more consistent and efficient. Because when I talk about him and Brown, I say Brown is usually consistently good, and Tatum is inconsistently great. That's just something that I peep when I watch them play. But what you think about Tatum game?
Well, if you remember, a lot of these players, they're a part of the system. So if you look at the Boston Celtics, I think they 4th or 5th in the league in threes per game. Grant Williams averages over 5 threes a game. That's how they play. That's the way that they play. And Jason Tatum, that in between, I think that stuff is in his game, but I think that the way that they play, I don't think that he goes to it. It's either at the long ball line or he's at the rim because of the way that they play. Now, I would like to see him play more in the mid-range. I'd like to see him play more in the mid-post because a lot of people forget Jason Tatum is a bit of 6'9". There's nothing 6'5" or 6'6" about him. He's a big guy. Right. So with that being said, if he played more in the mid-range, if he played more in the mid-post offensively, because you can see his ability to pass, his ability to deal, he would be so much better if he played there. But I think that's largely due to that system that he played in. Now, I think it enhanced Kobe's game playing in the triangle because as good a one-on-one player as Kobe was, well, now Kobe playing in the triangle, he's getting different looks everywhere. He's not just sitting at the long ball line, playing no Shaq. He's now in the mid-range, playing no Shaq. He's now in the corner, playing no Shaq. He can knock down threes because Shaq is getting doubled, as opposed to playing in Boston, where their offense is predicated on one-on-one, get to the long ball line, or in transition, or get to the rim. I think that has a lot to do with their system more than it is anything, more than it is his game.
Okay. Yeah, no, I understand that. I do think it got to do with the system, and you can just notice that by how they've been running lineups the whole season. Because Robert Williams, he started for them last year, and even though he was hurt coming into this year, when he got back right, he still wasn't starting like that. I mean, they started him yesterday, but in the second half, they brought in Derek White, and I think it's because this coach likes to space out everybody on the court can shoot threes. Horford, White, Smart, Brown, Tatum, everybody can shoot threes. That way, you either get into the paint or you kicking it out to a three instead of like a traditional two big lineup where you can run pick and rolls, you can get to the mid range, you can do other things like that. Right. So I definitely think it has to do with some coaching, but I don't know. I like to see him give himself like different looks because I feel like that's what leads to some of his inconsistent.
I've said this in the past. If Jason Tatum consistently puts that mid range and that mid post in his game, he's a top 3 player in the league for the next 8 years. I'm convinced of that.
Yeah, I'm with Chill, man. And that's a big thing too. And I you figure they would have learned from what was it last year playing against KD. And like you said, he's not KD length, but when it comes to everybody else from a wing player, bro, you put him at the mid post, you put him in the post. Jason Tatum's, everybody, he's student of Kobe. So I'm not saying he has Kobe level footwork, but when it comes to post game, he's very, very solid. Athletic, and his strength has increased a lot. So like you said, I'm with y'all, but like Chill hit on the head, man. It's strictly the system. The system just doesn't allow for them to do a lot of post up things, and that's what's hurting him. So like you said, bro, when you start shooting all these threes, bro, and the threes not dropping, I just hate that across the league. Like period. Like just take the Lakers. When we lost that first game, we opened the game up going for like 5. The first 5 were threes. Then you finally go to AD, and AD goes for 4 straight. So I just think that's the Steph Curry effect over the league overall, being in love with the 3 ball. But yeah, man, like I said, if you had I don't know the name of the center they got to do with the dreads.
Robert Williams.
If you run him off a pick and roll with Jason Tatum's mid range is one of the best, definitely top 10 in the league, bro. So like I said, if you run him off that and you get him to work that pick and roll real good, bro, that will be like. It'll be real hard to stop. Like you said, that'd be a whole.
Can he do what Devin Booker does when Devin Booker plays off the pick and roll?
I think he can. I mean, I don't think he's coached to or he's.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Do you feel like he can do? Because you just mentioned, my man. You just mentioned Jason Tatum running with Robert Williams on the pick and roll, just like Devin Booker running off the pick and roll with DeAndre Ayton. Can he do that? How much better would he be if he was able to do that?
That's what I'm saying. If that team overall would be a totally different team and another level of just very, very difficult to stop. Because like you said, in the game, bro, like I said, he pulling up threes, in desperation mode. Like you said, when that's the worst thing. When again, bro, go to your bread and butter. You get a pick and roll and you get him in that mid range to where either he can pull up or he can motherfucking give you a hezzy or whatever, and you know what I'm saying, and get to the rim. That's a game changer, especially the last 2 minutes of the game.
Yeah, I think
since we're on the subject of the long ball line, can we get James off the long ball line, please? Get James off the long ball line. I can't. Y'all all know me. Y'all know that I'm a James guy. Get James off the long ball line. You killing us, yo. You killing us.
Emmanuel, what's up, man? You got something?
I actually got a question, man. Low on the open gym said, man, 90s isn't real hoops. So I want to know how you feel about that. If you heard
why'd you bring that up? That was complete nonsense out of Lowe's mouth. I don't got nothing to say about that. Chill, if you got something to say about that, I'm not giving that any of my.
Wait. What did he say?
He basically said, you know how you said Vando should have played more. He's just saying, like, in this day and age, you can't really play like a negative on offense these days.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
NBA.
Yes, you can. You know why? What did we watch last night? What did we watch last night with Jimmy Butler? So you're telling me that everybody on the floor can score? Every last one of them dudes?
Nah,
I mean,
not like that.
In the last 5 minutes.
Yes.
No.
Martin,
I'm trying to remember who they had. They had Jimmy,
Larry,
Strus, Caleb Martin, Gabe Vincent, Bam. Yeah, they all could score.
Yeah, they can all score. So
and even with them being able to score, do you have a guy on that unit that you can say, "Yo, you score the rest of the buckets, I'll deal with this guy"?
One night, Caleb
no.
Or you said on the Heat?
On the Heat, do you have one guy that's coming in the huddle going, "All right, buckets, you score the rest of the points, I'll deal with him"? Do you have somebody like that?
Somebody's lockdown defender?
Other than Jimmy?
Nah. Other than Jimmy, no.
Not necessarily, but I mean,
no.
I guess Miami case is a little different because there's one in that zone, but
right.
I mean, I'm trying to see who.
But I think the Lakers have that. I think the Lakers have that.
But that's not what Low is saying though, Chilton.
But chill.
Low is saying that you could do that in the 90s because that wasn't real basketball. He was basically saying that like there was only a couple guys, Jordan, Barkley. Other than that, nobody was really hoopers.
To say it's not real basketball is a bit disrespectful.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, that's
man.
Crazy. But I do want to say though, chill. I think it's I would say like just going back and watch. I think it's easier to have an offensive liability on the court than it is now because it requires so much for you to score points. And produce on that end. Not saying defense isn't important because it is important. Defense wins championships. Don't get me wrong. But like, if you saving this amount of points on defense, but you kind of giving up offensive production, it doesn't weigh the same as it does back in the day. You know, because
I do understand that part, but don't we have guys that at the end of games, the last 5 minutes, last 6 minutes, where your best player basically takes over the game? Like we ain't really looking. We're not really looking for Dennis Rodman. We're not really looking for Grant Williams in the meat and potatoes of the game, are we? Even though he may be able to make shots, just like Vando can make a layup, just like Vando can hit a 10-foot hook. He can do that. But for the most part, even with that being said, for the most part, who is our guy in the meat and potatoes of the game? Like we don't need everybody. The rest of these guys are the guys who got
like the stopper,
right?
I mean, I feel like the best teams have that guy. Like if you look at every team in NBA history, you have that guy you can go to that can you stick him on this guy. But a lot of the times they give you offensive production as well. Like you look at the last few champions, they have Wiggins, you have Draymond defensively, but they give you offensive production. The year before that, Drew Holiday, but they on the other end, Drew Holiday's your playmaker. He led them in assists in the finals. Go back to when the Lakers won. They had Caruso. They had AD, who they was putting on Jimmy Butler, but they giving you offensive production.
Right.
The Vando is, and I love Vando. He from Houston and everything, but he's just so bad offensively. It's kind of like you will gain 5 points with him defensively, but you'll lose 10 offensively. So it's like you got to weigh it out when you have him on the court. Yeah, and that's why this era is a bit different. Well, with that,
I disagree with that. That's though about Vando being a liability in the offense. I think that's just the fact that he doesn't shoot deep threes. You guys put that on him, but I want to hear from you, Emmanuel, before we move on any further.
About the game?
Well, yeah, I mean you up here.
You got
something to talk about.
Hey man, yeah. So the way with Tatum's he's on fraud watch, bro. Like him as a superstar, like I contemplate if he's superstar or not. But like every time I think he's superstar, like I watch a game 7, like I say, oh wow, he's definitely a superstar. Then I watch a game 2 in the 4th where he's just missing threes and just the game 1 turnovers were really bad. The game 2 he was kind of missing shots. He got bailed out on that 3-pointer like late in the game that he missed. Like he didn't get fouled. Like he just gave him free throws. The one on Bam 2 that gave him his 5th, that was a bailout too. So basically he had 0 points, 0 real points. So
Can I get a satisfactory answer on what a fraud is? So I'm clear.
Yeah, come on, man.
I need to understand what a fraud is.
So in my opinion, right, a fraud is like when you're not living up to expectations on a consistent basis.
What are the expectations?
He just scored 51 in a game 7 against the reigning MVP, bro.
But look at the last 2 fourth quarters, though.
Stop.
Like he's
bro, it's a different team. And now, again, listen, look at the circumstances. You're looking at the team that's a better team, a better coach team, a better defensive team. It's not going to be the same.
Heat are a better team than the Celtics?
There's a difference between being more talented
than Philly, bro. Than Philly.
Oh, than Philly?
Yes, the team they just beat to get here in 7 games.
Yeah, for sure.
I
don't think he's a fraud. I think he's just inconsistent.
Right. Because when I think about a fraud, I think about somebody that basically flames out. That's what I think about.
CP3 is a fraud. Chris Paul is a fraud.
James Harden is a fraud.
James Harden and CP3 are frauds.
Wait,
Chris Paul not a fraud.
Yes,
you can't call Embiid a bum, but I can't call Tatum a fraud. Like what?
No, sir.
I said CP3.
Emmanuel, you can call anybody whatever you want. I'm just saying that I think that James Harden is a fraud. I think
he is a fraud.
I think Jason Tatum is more of just an inconsistent player. Now, if this goes
and
on,
he's young.
If this goes on for 3 more years, he's a fraud and he's a bum too.
Right.
Yeah, but this Jason Tatum's what? Was it 6, 7 seasons or something? What? Or 5th or 6th season?
Yeah, but he's supposed to be a superstar though. So like at that point, it's like
he was a young boy though.
I'm glad you brought that up. He's supposed to be a superstar. So let's take the name off, right? That's what I want you to do. I want you to take the name off the jersey. And we got a guy in the last 3 years, 2nd team All NBA, 1st team All NBA, took his team to the NBA Finals. 1st team All NBA again, is back in the Eastern Conference Championship and possibly on his way to the finals again. How are we talking about that guy today?
I mean, he beat teams he's supposed to beat. So
I can't.
So he beat the teams that he's supposed to beat.
Yeah,
that's it. That's all he is.
Yeah, he was supposed to be.
You got to,
bro.
Right? What's with that? You got at least you got to give him credit. I mean, he beat who he's supposed to beat.
I said he's supposed to be a superstar. That's credit. So he
is then that. So he beat the teams that he was supposed to. So he beat the teams that he was supposed to be, like you just said, and he's supposed to be a superstar. So he did what superstars do. Is that correct?
Yeah, but like beating the team.
So done.
That's not impressive to me. No, not done. He did what he was supposed to do. That's not impressive.
As a superstar, correct?
That's your. Hold on. Just because you go to work every day, you're supposed to go to work every day. That doesn't make you some exceptional employee. You just did your job.
That mean you supposed to get paid? You only supposed to get paid when you go above and beyond?
No, not above and beyond, but like that extra, like you get that promotion for doing extra stuff. Like, you know what I mean?
Okay, so I got a question. So like, what would it take? Like okay, let's say Jordan. Jordan beat the teams he was supposed to beat. Because let's say he was favored in a lot of his series. They don't make him. I mean, he's not a superstar, or
actually 91 he wasn't favored at all. Like 91.
Well, yeah, like most of them.
Was favored. Yeah. But like Jordan's like consistent though. Jordan's consistently great on a nightly basis. I don't think.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, you can say that, but I'm saying you saying beat the team you're supposed to beat. I mean,
I can't take away from a guy doing what he's supposed to do. He's already labeled as this, and now doing what he's supposed to do. You're supposed to be the superstar. Well, I did what superstars do. Yeah. So why am I now? Because we're faltering. Now I'm on fraud watch, as opposed
to. Can I be honest?
A week ago. A week ago, I went on fraud watch.
3 games ago, again, the dude was one of the best one of the best playoff performances ever, bro. You can't go from one of the best playoff performances of all time to fraud, dog.
But the 2 games before that, what did he do?
And he did this last year. He was great in the playoffs in 2022, but playing better in the finals. So really, I'm waiting for him to do. Like be great in the finals. I haven't seen it yet.
Again, coaching, and the team. Again, all that y'all got to take that stuff into consideration, bro. Again, there's going to be very, very few people at that level that's going to be able to be that dominant. Is Jason Tatum good? Yes. I wouldn't even say he's a superstar. Is he a star? Yes. But in order for you to be a superstar, bro, you got to be like MVP and conversations and stuff like that. He's really too young, bro, to be on some like superstar level.
I want to give you a real quick synopsis, just so you know. Magic Johnson in year 5, which was last year for Jason Tatum. Magic Johnson, he was called Tragic Johnson. That's who he was in year 5.
Exactly.
I just want to make sure that we clear on that. LeBron James in year 5, he was considered a fraud. And when they lost to the Boston Celtics,
he had been to the finals in what year? That same year, right? Was it 4?
The year before. The next year that they lost to the Celtics, this was year 5. The word on the street on LeBron James was maybe he ain't good enough.
Yeah.
Maybe he's not as good as we think. Maybe he ain't as good as we think we is. Maybe he
Nah,
ain't
that
as good.
defeats your point. That destroys your point.
No. Because if guys who are better than Tatum are being called frauds, then I can definitely call Tatum a fraud.
The reason why I'm asking you this is because how did those guys turn out?
Yeah, they turned out great, but we have to see that from Tatum in the finals.
So that defeats your point,
right?
So we still at the beginning of his story. What you saying, OG?
That's what I'm saying.
He's too young.
Yeah.
He's way young, bro. He's
only in year 6. I don't even think he's in his prime yet.
He just turned 25 2 months ago.
He's
He's
not.
a young boy.
Just
Well,
so you know.
fellas, we do got to keep it moving. Appreciate y'all
Fellas.
jumping on. Y'all stay in there, man. Keep viewing this. It's gonna be a great show.
Appreciate it.
We not done.
No doubt. I just am, Ox. I mean, don't get me wrong. I can appreciate the expectation on a guy, and you hold the guy to a certain standard, and you holding the guy to a certain standard elevates that guy's game.
Right.
But what I can't do is I can't hold a guy to a certain standard, and when he has some inconsistent moments, go, wait a minute, I think this dude might be a fraud. Well, wait a minute. I'm either in or I'm out on him. Which one is it? I'm in on Jason Tatum. Until he shows me year after year that I now have to be out, I'm in on Tatum.
Yeah, me too.
100%. I'm in on him.
I know I'm rough on Tatum, but I'm only rough on Tatum because I know how good he is.
Right.
I do think we kind of throw that fraud word around pretty loosely nowadays. But once again, y'all, let's get back into some of these super chats. First, let me shout out our GOAT members: Comatose, Haramis, and Mar, Dorian Clayton, and Avion Plummer. If you want to be a GOAT member, all you gotta do is click the link down there. It's real simple, no problem. We'd love to have you. I appreciate y'all all that are viewing right now. Please like the video. But let's get back to these super chats. They are the priority.
Yes, they are.
Barn Burners Inc. Does Jimmy's mindset make up for the skill gap?
Well, I don't think that there's a huge skill gap. I think Jimmy Butler is great at what he does, and I think that he maximizes that. That's number one. Number two, I think that his confidence is what bolsters him over everybody else. Jimmy Butler really walks on the floor, Big Ox, like, yo, I'm nice in the A last one of y'all. Mm-hmm. I'm the best player out here, and it's not one of y'all out here who can see me. Not one of you do.
I got a question, Chilltown. I don't know if you can answer it, or Barn Burner, if you want to send another chat to answer this question. What skill gap? What skill gap are we talking about?
He's not throwing the ball between his legs 2 or 3 times. He's not throwing the ball behind his back. He's not I believe it's the Hezzy Tween generation. He's not doing that, right? He's not making impossible shots at the rim. Jimmy Butler is basically basic Butler. That's what he is. So now that's a skill gap. But you and me just got finished talking about this, Ox. I care about what you produce. I don't just care about what you have in terms of I don't care about what you have in terms of your skill set. I don't. There's more to it than that.
Yeah. I care nothing about the deep bags and all that. I need you to get to your spot and make the shot. That's what I need you to do. Don't put the ball between your legs. Just dribble to the spot. 1-2, get it up, and let's get back on defense. Diabolical FC. Should the Heat trade Hero?
For what? What are you trading him for? Are you trading him for a better player? Are you trading him for a rotation player? What exactly do the Miami Heat need? Because when I look at this team, I'm looking at a team that went on a run. Now, obviously, the roster needs to get upgraded. We do know that because I'm having a difficult time believing that you're going to bring this roster back and do this again next year. I'm having a difficult time with that. But, I mean, what are you trading Tyler Hero for? I think Tyler Hero is one of the better talented players on the unit. I'm not interested in moving off of him. One of the best rotation players in the league. I think that they should keep him, to be honest with you, Big Ox. I thought that him starting was a detriment. I liked him better as a rotation player.
Right. I do too. Let me see. Next one is from John Wick 1GM. If you're Ty Lue, do you get out of LA?
I don't think he wants to get out of there. Nah. Unless there's a better coaching opportunity. I mean, the Clippers are moving into a new building, and not this season coming up, not the 20. I think the 25 season they're moving into a new building. I'm not interested in if Ty Lue leaves there. I mean, where is he going? Is he going to take the Milwaukee job? Is he going to take the Toronto job? Why would he leave the Clippers I mean, that's a really good situation for him. He gets to do whatever he wants. He gets, and I think to be honest with you, I think he's done a really good job with that group.
I do too. The thing with him is like the losses. It's not his fault. You know what I'm saying? So I think he's in a good situation as far as like his position. Where the injuries are obviously the reasons why they haven't made it to where they thought they were going to make it. I think Steve Ballmer really likes him, and like you said, they're moving into a new facility. They'll get a fresh start. Get out of the Staples Center.
If Leonard in 21 doesn't tear up his knee, I think they're in the finals. This season, if Leonard doesn't get hurt in the playoffs, I think they beat Phoenix. I think Phoenix is out. So why would he want to be out of there?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Can't see it.
Yeah.
Jamal, as a Sixers fan, we let them boys off the hook. Shake my head.
You did.
Definitely did, Jamal.
You did. You had them dudes in the chokehold and you let them up.
Definitely did. EJ, Larry Brown is a better coach than Doc Rivers.
We can have a conversation about that. Yeah, I think so. I think Larry Brown is more of I think he's a better X and O guy than Doc. I think Doc is a better player coach than Larry Brown. And I'm not a big Larry Brown fan. I think the best thing that ever happened to Carmelo Anthony was not going to Detroit. I think Larry Brown would have wrecked him. 100% I believe that. But I do think that he's better at making adjustments than Doc is. I don't think he utilizes his young players as well as Doc does, though.
Bar Runners Inc. Okay, so this is the answer. I don't mean to disrespect Jimmy, but when I see a guy like Tatum play, he's naturally talented. But like Shield said, Jimmy is confident. He knows who he is and knows what he's capable of. And side note, I'm a Bron guy. I don't care about a bag.
I just don't care as much about your bag as I care about what you produce. Like if you got a deep bag and you producing something with that bag, Bryant, Lajuan, Bird, guys like that. As opposed to you got a deep bag and we ain't going nowhere with it. I don't care about that. I don't.
Right. Not Tyler Hero. What's his name? Jordan Poole.
I just don't care, Big Ox. I don't. It's I believe it's called empty calories. Yeah, I'm good, Joe. I'm good.
Yeah. One thing I did want to say though, and ask you about this. When you said about Jason Tatum coming off that high pick, similar to Devin Booker, I think Jason Tatum is actually better than Devin Booker in that situation because I think Jason Tatum is a better facilitator. I saw that last night. So I'm kind of saying that leading up to the super chat that we're about to read right here because I saw Jason Tatum facilitating very well last night coming out of that zone. I was actually impressed on that. I don't think that Jason Tatum necessarily choked or disappeared. I think he was running the set. He was getting Grant Williams off on that back line, getting to the shooters and whatnot. I wasn't mad at what I saw from Jason Tatum yesterday. Only thing I do wish that he would have got Grant Williams off of Jimmy Butler. I wish he would have went and took that matchup. But
or Jaylen Brown, one of them two. Yeah. Don't just leave him over there, yo. Nah, don't do that.
Yeah. Sauce Man. Media outlets got gawking Tatum's 0 field goals in the fourth quarter, but Joker hasn't made a single field goal either. It seems like people hunt out anything negative to say about bro.
Let's keep that same energy because, Joker has not scored in the fourth quarter in both these games. No, he has not. They've done a really good job on him.
It's all laughs. If Spo manages to win this chip, does his all-time rankings for y'all change as coach? If so, where?
Well, don't just stop with him. You are aware that if they win the NBA championship, like we got to start talking about Kyle Lowry in a different space because that's 2 NBA championships for him now, right? 2 NBA championships for Kyle Lowry. I always thought that Spo was a top 10 coach. I always felt like that, and that's not going to change for me. So when you think about Greg Popovich, Phil Jackson, Pat Riley, Steve Kerr, Red Auerbach, let's see. Who else am I thinking about? Don Nelson, Casey Jones. Let's see. Rudy Tomjanovich. Let's see. Who else am I thinking about? I already said Pat Riley.
Mars says Mike D'Antoni.
No. No. Chuck Daly. Chuck Daly. Did I say Don Nelson?
Yeah, you did.
I think Spo was in there though. I do. I think Spo is in that top 10. 100%. I believe that.
Man, I'm so disappointed in myself for not believing in Eric Spoelstra.
Big Ox, man. If you'd have saw my face last night, you'd have been like, "Yo, this dude is for real." Because I walked away from that last night thinking to myself, I don't think we coming back up here. I think this thing is over. I do.
I'll put this one up, but now I'll read it. EJ says that Julius Randle is a fraud.
When your production doesn't go up in the playoffs, when you consider it to be this, and then when we get to the playoffs, it doesn't match that or exceed that. Yeah, we got to start talking about you in a different way. Yeah, we do. We have to do that.
Daniel Smith, Lakers game plan: don't crash boards, no LeBron threes.
Okay, we got to crash the boards, but no LeBron threes, yes. James, get off the long ball line, please, yo.
Maybe that was a typo from Daniel Smith. I'm not sure.
Yeah, crash the boards. We want to do that.
Yeah, I don't think any coach ever said don't crash the boards.
Yeah, we want to crash the boards. Yes. Get on the backboard. We got to rebound. 100%. We got to do that.
From Foreign Topics, Tatum can't hoop when all the hoes is watching.
That ain't true. That is not true. You saw what he did in Philly. You saw what he did in Milwaukee last year. You saw what he did in the Eastern Conference Championship against Miami in Game 7 in Miami. That's not true. Yes, he can.
Foreign, that was a crazy super chat, bro. Thanks
for
that.
You out for that.
I needed that. Russell Clark. For Tatum not to score in the fourth quarter in back-to-back games is fraudulent. By the way, they were at home.
So Joker fraudulent too then. So if that's the case, then Joker's a fraud. If we're doing that, that means Joker's a fraud too.
I don't know, Chilltown. In Joker's defense, they won.
They did win, but they won off the strength of Joker. They won off the strength of the Lakers going to pieces in certain areas.
Facts. That's a fact. Well, I don't know about that either. In game 2, I wouldn't say. So I've been saying that.
I'm sorry. They won off the strength of Jamal Murray.
Okay.
They won not the Lakers going to pieces because they really gave Jamal Murray. They really gave Jamal Murray some difficult looks, but they didn't win. They didn't win off the. They didn't. It wasn't bad. Jason Tatum was involved in the game, and the fact that he didn't score. Don't get me wrong. I'm not dismissing the fact that he didn't score because if you the guy. I got to get involved in the O. And I don't mean just get involved in the O, just distributing. No, we in the meat and potatoes of the game. We need buckets. I got to do that, whether I get to the basket, whether I get to the mid-range. I have to do that. But when I think about Joker did the same thing, B.
Yeah, that's a fact. James Harry. Tatum is a two-time first team all fraud.
You're right. I'm good on you, James. I'm good. I'm straight on you, James. Thanks for the super chat, though. I'm straight on you.
Jeremy Sanchez, you say you don't care about the bag, yet you didn't have Jimmy top 10. Told you they are a championship team.
I'm 100% confident that when we started the show, I said before the season started that I had Jimmy Butler as a top 10 player before the season started. I'm 100% confident I said that.
See, things like this. See, this super chat right here is a direct result of when you guys watch the panel and guys, sometimes guys come up low ticket. Me sometimes we come up and we try to push our line and we say things that aren't true. Like for instance, Ticket trying to say he had Jimmy Butler top 5, but by saying that he's trying to say that we weren't showing Jimmy any love at all,
which is not true.
That's not true. I know personally, I've supported Jimmy Butler for a very long time, and I've been trying to get people to open their eyes to Jimmy. Do I have him top 5? No, I do not. I don't have him top 5, but I do. I know Jimmy's a top 10 talent in the NBA. Let me see here. Another from EJ. Chilltown is capping. The public coddled LeBron through every loss in the playoffs.
No, they did not. That is not true. That is not true. In 08, when they lost to the Celtics, they didn't coddle him. He got a lot of, as good as he was, he caught a lot of heat for that. In 09, when they won 66 games, they didn't coddle him. He got roasted for that when they lost to Orlando. He got roasted for that. How about it in 10 when they lost to when they lost to the Celtics again? He got roasted for that. How about in 11 when they lost to the Dallas Mavericks in the finals? He got roasted for that. How about in 14 when they lost to the Spurs, when they got blown out? They wasn't like, yo, James, you're great. No, he got roasted for that. What about in 15 when he lost to Steph Curry? How about in 18 when he got swept? Talking about they coddled him. No, they didn't. He got roasted for every last one of those. How about in 21 when Anthony Davis got hurt and they played against Phoenix? So that's not true, EJ. If you're going to talk about it, talk about the whole thing, B. Don't do that.
Foreign topics again. Tatum not a superstar. He's a star. PG level NBA star PG level. Okay. Nope. NBA is marketing him as a superstar, but he's not just yet.
Nope, I'm not buying that. I think he's better than Paul George. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I believe he's better than Paul George. I think he did more. I think his skill set, not only was his skill set better, what he produced was better. So I ain't buying that. He is a franchise player, and he's a guy that you could build your unit around to get now. What he's proven that I am a number one on a championship contender. Paul George has never proven that. Paul George has proven that I'm a number one. Paul George has proven that I could get us to the Eastern Conference Championship. So basically a playoff team.
Right. Ads game. If Miami win this, will this go down as the best run since the Mavs?
Yeah. If you consider the units and I mean the Miami Heat, they weren't favored in every last one of the series that they were in. Every last one of the series they were in, they were not favored. So you may have that, Big Ox, with the exception of, wait a minute, what about an 18 with the Cavs?
That come back?
Yeah. What about not 16? I'm talking about 18. I'm talking about 18 when James took that team to the NBA Finals. That unit in Cleveland with J.R. Smith and Kevin Love and who am I thinking about?
Well, I mean, but the Warriors still won though.
They did. They still won. But you have to win it. Right. You do have to win it. That's correct.
Barn Burners, Inc. How JT get all the blame when JB 16 points and 1 for 7 from 3? Yeah, we definitely touched on that, Barn Burner.
Yep. Yes, we did.
Yeah, definitely. And as y'all know, I'm one of the biggest ones saying Jaylen Brown over Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
I can't cut him any slack for last night. He needed to step up and he didn't. Cheese. What is the most rewatched series in your opinion?
The most rewatched series. The most rewatched, I think 2016 of the NBA Finals. Yeah. 2016 NBA Finals. Because it was historic. That has never happened in NBA history. A team has never been down 3-1 in the NBA championship and come back and won it. That's never happened.
That's incredible.
Yes.
Let's see. Y'all see Evan Turner and Iggy arguing about KD?
No, I had not seen that. No. I did not see that. I don't even know what they was arguing about, to be honest with you. So I don't know.
What's going on? What's going on, Chill? What's the word? Ox. Like the beam. What's the word, my guys? Salute, fellas. The KD, the thing that they were talking about was I think he was the most talented player ever that they've ever seen. And then Iggy had Paul George as the second most talented player in the league right now. That's what they were arguing about. They was arguing between those two.
Is Paul George more talented? Is Paul George more talented than Jason Tatum?
Yes. You talking about in his prime? Yes. In his prime? Yes. In his prime, yes.
You think so?
Yes.
Based on what are you basing
ball handler? He's a better ball handler. I think he's a better mid-range shooter by default because Jason Tatum don't use it. Before the injury, I feel like he was a better finisher at the rim. Indiana days, even this year in OKC when he was with Russ, I feel like he's definitely.
Oh yeah, the fluidity and that's the thing too, like the fluidity of his
and they better defender too.
He has the
smooth man. Him and Melo, man, they got the two of the smoothest games I ever seen.
And I still think
PG. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Oh, my fault. I just want to say that JT, as smooth as his game is, it is still robotic and clunky. And I think just the point that Ox was making when he was saying like he liked what he was seeing from JT initiation, when he was initiating the high pick and roll, Yeah, sometimes he did make good reads, right? But there was also sometimes where his clunkiness, and I get it might be just the way his body is like built and the way that his footwork is. There's sometimes where his footwork kind of leads him into this like dead zone where he doesn't know what to do, and he gives up the pill a lot. You know, he was giving up that pill to that short roll a little too early. He wasn't accepting the double team, and that's to me due to the fact that like his ball handling like sometimes is a little bit too clunky. So sometimes
Jason Tatum, we're talking about.
Yeah, this Tatum.
Chill, they was poking him yesterday when he did that crossover rip every time.
Wide crossovers. He still has a lot of wide crossovers. You know what I mean? Like he's tightened his handle. Don't get me wrong. He definitely tightened his handle up. But there is some moments where just his fluidity on the floor is not really that elite to me. I think PG has more fluid footwork and get into certain spots.
I feel like that about Jaylen Brown handle. But go ahead.
I know Jaylen Brown is in that same realm too. Like I don't think Jaylen Brown's handle improved the way that everybody keeps saying it did. Go ahead,
they both like when I look at the Celtics team and they problem, and when we compare them to the rest of the teams left in the playoffs, they two best players play off each other. I feel like when you look at the Nuggets, Jokic and Murray, pick and roll, dribble handoff. You see Murray setting picks for Jokic. When you look at the Lakers, I feel like they down 2-0 because they haven't used LeBron and AD in the pick and roll enough. You know what I'm saying? But that's their bread and butter. You know what I'm saying? When you look at Miami, Bam and Jimmy, they don't pick and roll as much, but you see them playing off each other a lot, whether it's setting screens for each other, backdoor screens. When you look at the Celtics, JB and JT, they the same player. They do the same thing.
Right.
And when you look at their deficiencies, they both of their deficiencies are the same. Like the things they do on offense, you can look at similar, shooting a lot of threes, getting to the cup. But when you look at what's wrong with them, it's their ball handling. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a problem I see in both.
But I'd like to think that Jason Tatum has improved as a ball handler.
Yeah,
I think that Jaylen Brown. I think Jaylen Brown. I think that thing is still sloppy. I think it's still wide. To be honest with you, I've seen him plenty of times. I still see him plenty of times, particularly in transition. He kicking the ball out of bounds, or the ball's getting kicked off another guy's foot. And I think that's largely due to it being wide. It's way up here, and him how he attacks defenses with his handle too. Jason Tatum, on the other hand, when he attacking defenses with his handle, it's a lot smoother, it's a lot tighter, it's closer to his body. Jaylen Brown, it looked like I could rip you. It looks like you easy to rip, as opposed to Jason Tatum. It doesn't really look like that. It's easy to get ripped.
And who did that remind you of, OG? That remind me of KD. That the tall wing player, you know what I'm saying? With them being so tall, they dribble gotta be that wide because they that tall. And when you look at who was defending KD, it was a little bit of Bruce Brown, a little bit of Jeff Green, but it was always players smaller than him. When you look at what's going on with JT, it's Caleb Martin, it's Gabe Vincent, it's a little bit of Strus, players that's smaller than him. You get under that, you know what I'm saying, under that body, and when he do that crossover, they right there because it's so wide. So
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up because now if your handle is tight like Jason Tatum, Jimmy Butler is a prime example of I don't have to do a lot of extracurricular stuff to get to where I need to go. I don't have to do that. Spot. Right. So if I got a handle like Jason Tatum's, which is tight, I can beat this. If I got Max Strus in front of me, I don't have to do a lot of dribbling, but I can get by him with a 1-2. I could get by him with a hesitation because I'm a better athlete than him. 2, I'm bigger than him. 3, I'm more athletic than him. My handle tighter than his. My handle is tighter than his defense. So I should be able to get by him with 1 or 2 dribbles. And I don't have to do a lot of extracurricular stuff. That's why Jimmy Butler is so good.
So, and I wanted to
add 1-2 dribble and straight to the point.
So that's the thing too, and I remember he was asking the question about the Devin Booker thing, right? And that's why I don't think Jason Tatum has the tight 1 dribble pull up. I think he has to get into motion. I think he has to step back. That's why you notice he always sidesteps or steps back to load up with his jump shot. Because if you notice, his load up is kind of like this uncorking of his arm. Like it's not like straight up in the motion. It's kind of like he just unraveled. I don't know what type of spaghetti move is that, but it's like his arm just unravels and does this like.
But if he got context, you saying he got that Kevin Martin jumper?
It looks kind of funky though. It does.
He got that. He got like a more effective Bill Cartwright. Like it does something on the peak. I don't know what it does, but it stays 5 minutes in his hands. I'm like, yo, why are you taking so long to unload the ball? Yeah. And I think that's why he has to sidestep or step back. So that one dribble pull up where we like chill. We know like T-Mac's one dribble pull up, Devin Booker's one dribble pull up. It's very it's so fast and it just rides up. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Jason Tatum doesn't have. So the thing about it, we gotta put Joe. You glass-eyed bandit. You need to understand something. You need to understand that if Jason Tatum has a slower load up, you should be having him at the nail, setting the screens and breaking that zone. How do you allow your in zones? Everybody know this. What do? You put your best passer or your best player or your best passer in that and to break the zone. You didn't do that with Jason Tatum. What you did was you had him initiate the offense. So you telling me you brought in Malcolm Brogdon for what? To be a catch and shoot player? You brought Marcus Smart to do what? Why is Marcus Smart running post ups, but Jason Tatum isn't running post up? I saw Marcus Smart 2 possessions in a row, chill, in the beginning of the game, running post ups. And Jason Tatum can't get a post up? What are we doing, Joe Mazzulla? What are we doing? You're looking at the clipboard like this because you have no idea what you're doing. Grant Williams should not be the zone breaker. It doesn't make sense why Grant Williams was the zone breaker and Jason Tatum they were just spamming high pick and roll, and he's not doing one dribble pull-ups. Even if they drop, he's not doing one dribble pull-ups. So why are you spamming Jason Tatum to initiate the offense? Why is Malcolm Brogdon in the game if he's not the ball handler initiating the offense with Jason Tatum at the nail so that way he could break down the defense? I'm lost in the source. You guys
that's a good point. That's a good point.
You know what don't make even more sense? Like, and we killed Giannis for this last series, how he didn't take on the responsibility of guarding Jimmy. I don't know if I put that on coaching or the player because
both
at the end of the day, like you said it earlier, Chill. We saw Jaylen Brown pick up James Harden and take him out of the series. We saw that. I think me and Bob was talking about it a couple of weeks ago. I think them boys is scared of Jimmy. I think they are scared of. I'm not gonna say scared. Scared not the right word. I say intimidated. Whatever word you want to use, y'all know what I'm saying. Y'all know what I'm saying. They basketball hearts.
I'm not scared of this dude. I'm not afraid of him.
He is chill. Accept it.
I'm not scared of this dude. It's making me nuts right here.
Chill. What we say about Giannis when he didn't take on it? What do we say about Giannis?
Are you scared of this dude?
Man, we said the same thing.
You not scared, Chill Town, but they not you.
That's it, man. How you scared of this dude? Don't put your heart in their chest.
You scared of this dude, man.
You can't do that. You can't do that.
What are we doing here, man?
You can't put your heart in their chest, man.
I feel like that, so like when I was playing football, when I first started playing football, I was never a great football player, but my only thing, I would just try to hit the quarterback. I'm missing all types of things, like the pitch going outside. I'm like, oh, I ain't know I was supposed to do that, and my pops used to be like, yo, like, what are you doing? And so I know he used to want to put himself in my body, like, yo, this how you play football, you know? I think that's how you feeling about Jason Tatum right now. Like, yo,
yes.
You know
somebody is in the huddle. Somebody is in the huddle, has to say to themselves, somebody else got to do it because he ain't doing it.
Facts.
He ain't doing it. Somebody else got to do it because he ain't doing it.
Yeah, a slew box with me. I got a 3 question, but 2 is very quick. So the first one I'm gonna get out the way. Ticket bet Damo ban that the Nuggets win. Ticket said, quote yesterday, I'm not in on the Nuggets until they win 4 times. What? So what you better ban for?
Because he think they're gonna win the series.
Now the second thing, I just found Ticket that just crazy. I better ban and I'm out on that team. I don't get it. Second thing, the Heat and Celtics series kind of remind me of the Grizzlies and Timberwolves where they gonna let us back in the game. Both. Game 1 and game 2, Celtics was up double digits. He came back. You got me. So what happened? But my actual debate, I came up here because I'm seeing a lot of Jimmy Wade, and I seen on TikTok, and it really irks me because I'm from New York. They saying Jimmy's better than Carmelo. No, chill, Knox.
No.
Come on, man.
Bad.
It's a TikTok video. It says Jimmy is better than Carmelo Anthony. Which y'all? Now, mind you,
I got to intervene right here, too, Hero. I gotta intervene.
Yo,
and I love Melo. That's my guy.
My God.
That's my guy.
Hold on.
No.
Let me get it off real quick, and then Chilltown. I need to hear from you, Chilltown, too. I need to hear your honest opinion right now. My honest opinion is that I was a big Carmelo fan, but Jimmy got something Carmelo didn't have, bro. And I don't know if that means
But when you relax in the off season, I mean not the off season,
a top 10 coach. That's what he got. A top 10 coach.
You have more energy.
I don't know. Hey, Chilltown, what do you think about that, Chilltown? What do you think about that, Chilltown? If you're the GM, Chilltown, and you got to pick up one of these guys, who are you picking up?
Yeah, because you can't say both prospects because you know he going with Carmelo. See, you saw what he just said? Oh, they both. Nah, what about when they first come in the league?
Carmelo a better scorer than buckets. 100%, he is a better scorer than buckets. However, the stuff that buckets does all around. The stuff that I've seen buckets do all around with the crew, and it's not empty. Like a lot of the stuff that Carmelo Anthony does, a lot of that stuff is empty. And because it's empty, it doesn't translate to the rest of the crew. Like don't get me wrong, when you talk about a better basketball player, Carmelo Anthony is a better basketball player than Jimmy Butler.
But chill, Jimmy relaxes in the regular season. Literally relax. He literally relaxes. Carmelo got to score 25.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by he's relaxing?
He put in a 22. He put all-star numbers up. I can't say he relaxed.
What is he, 21, 22 in the playoffs?
That's all-star numbers. That's
how good. Okay. So True Hero, how good do you have to be to relax and average 22 points?
You chilling? You want something completely.
What I mean, relax, Bob. Jimmy's not playing at his peak in the regular season. Melo had to do that for the regular season and the playoffs until you saw that. I think it was 08-09 when he played the Lakers in the Western Conference. He had it. He didn't chill. Carmelo did not sit and relax. He couldn't unless he was gonna be out. 25.
Whoa. Are we talking like the Miami Heat got a bomb squad so he could just chill? Don't forget, they barely made the playoffs. They barely made the playoffs. They've made the playoffs as an 8 seed. Right? So if there's no play-in tournament, they still make the playoffs. So he wasn't chilling that much. I mean, he still had to do his job. And I think that you got as much as you could get out of Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is not a 28, 29 a game guy. He could do it in stretches like what you see in the playoffs, but can he do that for the duration of a season? No, he hasn't.
But the reason I got Melo because Jimmy only got these 4 years.
You got
literally outside of the league with the Timberwolves in Philly. You feel me? It was like a cool 1-2. You feel me? Carmelo career as a resume. You know what I mean? Because I'm hearing people, they said they rank him higher over Melo all the time. I think he has a better resume than Jimmy Butler. You have to go on 4 years and then say,
you gotta look at how Jimmy came in the league though. He wasn't a scorer at all. He was a defensive specialist. He developed, and Melo was a scorer. But look, Melo was a scorer coming in. When you looked at how their careers developed, Melo remained a top elite scorer. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't add nothing to his game as far as rebounding, playmaking, defense. When you look at Jimmy Butler, where he started and where he is now, he turned himself from a defensive specialist to a number 1 option on a championship contender while still playing elite defense.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like we could look at the 4 years. We could look at the 4 years. We could look at the 4 years, but if you look at the totality of both their careers, like I would probably pick Jimmy too.
True Hero, as Chilltown says, you got to take your fan hat off, fam. But
Bob. One thing. When the Heat won yesterday, Ticket went on a rampage calling all y'all out, saying I told y'all Jimmy's better than Wade. He's going live for like 5 hours.
I still ain't. He was wrong for that.
He was wrong then. He was wrong the first time he said
he's wrong now.
Literally,
and I'll tell
he
him
has
to
a
his
5-hour
face.
live stream saying Jimmy's better than Wade, and he just keeps saying it over and over.
He wasted 5 hours of talking. I know he got some great views for that, but
you think that if you keep telling me the sky is orange, if you just keep saying it to me, eventually I'm gonna believe that the sky is orange. Yeah. No, just because you keep saying it don't mean it's true. Just because you keep telling me that, it does not mean it's true. It doesn't.
So True Hero, if you were going to make your point based off Ticket saying that that Jimmy's better than D Wade, you started off on the wrong foot, brother. But check it out, guys. We got some more super chats we gotta get to, and we got another group, and we're kind of running low on
Yo,
time.
chill
I got
out.
one question.
Don't let him
I
suck
got
y'all into that,
question.
please.
Just one
Don't
question.
let tickets suck y'all into.
That's not possible, Trujillo. You don't got to tell me what.
I got one question, Ox.
You almost,
I just want to ask you
that almost when he was arguing with us that day, I almost had to get off the stream, bro. I would never go for it.
If you remember us talking, I'm sitting here thinking I can't really believe we having this conversation.
You're losing your mind.
Hey, context. We got to move, bro. We got to move. We got.
Hold on, you can get me out of there.
Salute y'all. Salute.
Answer after I ask. I just want to ask, like, how do you guys feel about pro players not being able to consistently break a zone? Like, we got to talk about it. Is it ego thing? Like, what's going on? You know what I mean? I just want to ask that. But salute to you guys, fellas.
All right, brother.
Like the beard, man. Like the beard.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
What do you think about that, Chitan?
I think that zone has not been that big a deal in the NBA. I mean, a lot of these guys don't play in college long, so they haven't played against zone for a long time. So when you get to the NBA, which is primarily a one-on-one game, and not only is it a one-on-one game, it's more spread out. So when you see zone, we taught in college how to bust zones. We taught in college what spots to get to in zones. Well, these guys come up in the AAU era, or they play in college 1 year. They're not taught how to play against zone. So when they get to the pros, they don't see zone that much. I think that, if I'm not mistaken, I think teams play zone like less than 10% of the time. So when these guys see zone, I mean, they don't really know what to do with it. Especially for a long stretch, they don't know what to do with it because they haven't played against it. So,
yeah. Let's see. Let's get to some new super chats before we pull up this last group.
Yep.
Donovan Samuels. Do you think Boston fires their coach if they lose this series, or do you give him one more season? I understand Mazzulla is not out there playing, but he hasn't made many adjustments this postseason.
Well, if you fire him, you have to already have somebody in tow, and if you bring him back, it's on a short leash, and you already got to have somebody in mind. If you bring him back, he's on a short leash, and if this thing isn't working, you already know that by mid-season, if this thing isn't working, he's out and this guy is in. You have to know that. So,
I don't think they fired Joe Mazzulla either way this series. I think they're really big on Joe Mazzulla. I think they like him a lot. Rollo 555. Jokic wins a ring this year. He's top 30 all time.
That means he's close to top 30. In order for you to say that he's top 30, that also means that he's at minimum close to that. Because what he's not is he's not 60 and then he jumps to 30. No. So you gotta, with him being top 30 all time, he has to be at least he has to be at least close to that. And I'm not sure Joker is close to being a top 30 player already. No.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. Omar Hanson. Wrong. Evan Turner was arguing, saying he would have never called KD to team up if he was on the Warriors. He said it was foul and unfair to the league.
I'm on record saying this, Big Ops. KD threw a monkey wrench in the whole landscape, yo. He did. When he did that, he threw a monkey wrench in the whole thing, yo.
So he set the NBA back a good 10 years.
He did, Big Ops. He did.
Foreign topics. How do I join these conversations? Foreign topics. When I shoot the link out there, you just keep your eyes peeled for that link. Anytime you see that link, click on it. The lobby gets filled really quick. So it's a lot of times first come, first serve, brother. And also, if you ever around, I don't know what days they do Open Gym, but Open Gym is another show where the viewers are able to get up. So keep your eyes out for the schedule. Keep your eyes out for the link, man. We love to hear your topics. We love to hear your conversation. EJ, Boston needs Kyrie Irving back.
No, they don't. No, they do not. No, they do not.
I wish I would have saved that for Leaf Diggy, because I'm about to bring Leaf Diggy up in a minute, man. I wish I would have saved that one for him.
No, they don't.
OG, you buying all this Wemby hype?
Yes, I am. I think he's the future of basketball. I think that's he is what the league is going to look like in the next 10 to 15 years. Yep, I am buying it.
I'm having trouble still.
I know.
Now that he's going to the Spurs, though, I'm a little more confident. I'm a little more confident.
If he was going to Detroit, you probably wouldn't be feeling it as much.
That's what I was.
If he was going to Charlotte, you'd probably be like, I don't know.
Any one of those two teams, I'll be out. I'll be out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. OG Bob, start bench cut, peak T-Mac, Paul George, Jason Tatum.
Peak T-Mac, Paul George, Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum, Paul George, Tracy McGrady.
You cutting T-Mac?
Yep.
Damn. On my team, T-Mac's playing 48 minutes.
I know you love T-Mac. I'm not a big T-Mac fan. I'm not.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's understandable.
Yeah, I'm not a big T-Mac fan.
So tonight we got game 3, Western Conference Finals. I'm actually going with Denver in this one. I think it's actually going to be not a very good game for the Lakers. I think the Nuggets actually win this one by double digits. I think it might be a massacre, a bloodbath in the Staples Center. Chip-town. What do you think?
I think this is a desperation game for the Los Angeles Lakers. Not only do I think it's a desperation game, I think that they set the tone early. I think that the way Denver played on their home floor, I don't think that the Lakers are going to allow them to play that way on their home floor. I think the role players for the Los Angeles Lakers are going to play better. I also think that Anthony Davis is going to be better as a rebounder, and I think that he's going to be better as an offensive player. I think that they get this one tonight.
Leave him here looking like Darth Vader.
What up, fellas? SB, what up? Leaf, what up?
What's going on?
What up?
I'm not falling for none of these traps. Not one of them.
What traps?
The Boston Celtics and the Los Angeles Lakers are both down 2-0. Are y'all kidding me?
Man, don't go on the propaganda talk.
Yeah,
man.
no. I'm not falling for it. I'm not falling for it. They tried. You know what it is? They tried to get me. They trying me, bro. Everybody up in here know the NBA gonna make $5 at most on Denver versus Miami. They ain't gonna make no money on that.
That don't mean that it's not gonna happen. Right? It ain't gonna happen. Nobody cared about San Antonio and Cleveland in 2007, but it happened.
And Leaf, if that's the case, the Knicks would have been in the finals, making deep run for the past.
Right? Nobody cared about nobody. You think anybody cared about Detroit going to the finals against the Lakers in 2004? No, ain't nobody cared about that, but it happened.
Yeah, I understand that.
You really got Kobe versus LeBron.
I understand that, Chilltown, but the thing is, they got to make sure nothing like that don't happen again. Because listen, it's money time. I told you all year, it's money. That's what it is. We all know it's money time.
Leaf,
I'm not falling for none of these tricks.
You did not care about no Warriors in Toronto in 2019. You did not. Don't say that you did, because you didn't. You didn't care about no Kawhi Leonard and Kyle Lowry in the NBA Finals. You didn't care about that.
Why you bringing up old shit? You
just said the NBA got to make sure it don't happen again, but it did happen again. What are you talking about?
Listen,
you didn't care about no Phoenix.
Now.
You didn't care about Phoenix.
I'm talking about now, bro. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced until the Celtics and the Lakers are dead. I'm not falling for none of this.
Hold on, Leaf, real quick. Hey, Colin, are you there or no? No? Okay, nope, we got a spot open, yo. We got a spot open.
Hey, Bobby, listen, I agree with you, and we had a conversation the other night on your show. I said I would the safe bet for game 2. I said the safe bet for game 2 would probably be Boston, but I wouldn't be surprised if Miami won. I think Miami had a hell of a game plan. Coach Spoelstra, he switched up the defenses and do a lot of different looks at JT. I think what Boston is running is very sporadic. They just running that BS 5-out 2K offense. They ain't executing plays. They lackadaisical on defenses. They not making the right switches. I think Miami took advantage of that. But I'm gonna say it one more time, Bobby, and I'm gonna say it one more time to Chilltown, because I could have easily came up here and been premature. And I told Chilltown from day one I don't trust Baltimore. That's the first thing he heard out of my mouth. But the thing is, I'm not falling for none of this. I'm not convinced until the Lakers and the Celtics are dead. In the casket, close them up, dead. I'm not convinced. And I'm not falling for none of the BS.
I don't think we're going back to Boston. I don't think so.
Yeah, because
right.
this is what I'm gonna say. I'm not
Celtics
falling
mess
for
around and win the next 4 out of the next 5 games, and we all looking here like
it's two things I'm not falling for.
I will be 100% in here going, yo, I'm a goofy.
Yeah.
100%. I will say that.
Right, but see, it's two things that I'm not falling for, Trav, for what you're saying. For one, because the conversation they was having before they called Jason Tatum a fraud is crazy. That's a Travis trade fault. You stop it. Look, he is a streaky scorer of a star, so he's a hit and miss type of star. He is a superstar. If you think Jason Tatum not a superstar, I don't know what. Y'all so quick to call somebody superstars, y'all quick to call somebody fraud. I don't understand y'all. But the second thing I'm not going to fall for the trap of is comparing these two old deficits. Nuggets being up 2-0 and the Heat being up 2-0 is two different things. Nuggets, all Nuggets did was protect home court and did
protect home court. Right.
The Celtics lost 2 games on a home court.
Right.
That's terrible.
I understand that, SB, but we got to remember who these two teams are. I don't care if it happened in Zimbabwe. I don't care if it happened in South Africa. They both down 2-0, and I'm not falling for the BS.
Who the Celtics
I'm not falling for it, bro. No,
man can't coach.
Hey, Lee.
He's an NBA.
I'm not falling for it, bro. I'm not convinced. Are you? Tell me if you convinced that the Lakers and the Celtics are dead until they dead.
The Celtics done.
Let me ask
you this. The Lakers, I don't know. Celtics done. They coach can't even. He can't outcoach his zone. As an NBA coach, he can't outcoach his zone. I'm done. I'm out on him. I'm out.
I gotta say this real quick, Leaf. I understand that, like what you're saying.
They not gonna fool me, bro.
To say that the two teams are both down 2-0, the Celtics lost both of their home games. At home. For you to say that you're not convinced there's no basis behind that, Leaf. There's no basis behind that.
Like that's what I'm saying, Bob. Like Leaf, put all the conspiracy and all that aside, and analyze these 2 games you done seen from both finals. Like the better teams is up 2-0 right now. It's as simple as that. I don't see the Lakers.
I don't think the Heat is the better team.
But look. I don't see the Lakers Nuggets, getting all these free throws that we was complaining about. Like I don't see like all these free throws we was complaining about the Lakers getting. I don't see that happening. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing the best player on one of the 2 best player on the Lakers take 6 threes in the fourth quarter. I'm seeing them pull up for a 3 and missing. That don't have nothing to do with no conspiracy. That don't have nothing to do with nothing.
Hold on for a second. Besides, hold on for a second. Leaf, what do you constitute as a better team? What do you think a better unit is?
Well, I'll go to the Denver and Lakers series, man. Listen, Denver has all year in this series and all year they've executed better than the Lakers. They shoot better as a team, better than the Lakers. They create mismatches all around for their starters and their bench players better than the Lakers. They produce they stars is more consistent, better than the Lakers. That's what I can do as a better team. And I think that's what happened in the first 2 games. Even though the Nuggets served home court, I understand that. But what's happening in this Boston series is grade A madness. You got Caleb Martin and Gabe Vincent going dumb. There's no Chilltown. Listen, I know you was on the Celtics, and I told you everything about the Celtics and everything, but there's no way you can let those dudes get confidence. You can't. They
already had it coming into the series.
Leave. They got confident, right? I was about to say, Leave. What was they doing against Milwaukee?
Yeah, they already
what
had
was
it
they doing against the Knicks?
That's first of all. Number 2,
Jimmy Butler missed 2 games against them.
The point that you made about the Denver Nuggets being better coached, better schemes. Wouldn't that be the same thing going on with Miami? Better coached, better schemes, better defense. Wouldn't that be the same thing going on with that group?
In the first 2 games, I would say that. But in terms of talent, in terms of roster, in terms of what type of team Boston been most of the year, from everything that you told me, I can't. I
right.
Can't.
So as of right now, the more talented team, which is the Boston Celtics, is not the better team.
They're not playing.
They're not playing.
They're not playing better. So
I would agree with that.
There's a difference between being a better team and being a better talented team. So the Boston Celtics got more talent.
Agreed.
As opposed to what Miami is doing in terms of execution, in terms of coaching, in terms of effort, all of those things. They're doing that better. Wouldn't that be the better unit?
That's what I was like. Yeah, shit. Like,
I mean, they playing better, but they don't mean they're a better unit. They don't just
but if they play,
That's what I'm talking. I'm sorry, D, I cut you up. It's DCSB. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. So now we talk about players. You got more. You're better. You're a better basketball player than this dude. Only except this dude outplayed you.
Crazy. Yes. That's because the people don't talk about the help differences. Because I don't want to hear no more excuses. If Jimmy Butler excuses with the help that he got, nobody respect Caleb Martin. Nobody respected Gabe Vincent. Nobody respected Duncan Robinson. Everybody told me Kyle Lowry was washed and should have got traded.
I did.
Tyler Hero out. Yeah. All the people out. What a respect with no help.
And something
no help talk.
Something that I keep in
I got
mind.
a question for you too after Leaf go.
Something that I keep in mind, Chilltown. Wasn't you the one that said I'm not convinced that the Warriors is done until they done? Well, that's the same thing I'm standing on with the Lakers and the Celtics.
That's fair.
I'm not convinced that they done until they done.
That's fair. Until you beat the Warriors 4 times, I wasn't convinced that they was out.
Then that's why I stand on the Lakers and the Celtics in these 2 particular series.
The Lakers didn't go into Golden State the first 2 games and drop them. No, they didn't do that.
Hold on. We gotta keep the context on that.
That's all fine and good.
Ask OG something real quick, OG, because I don't know who do the clips. Ox might be Dub or so. Because I need to hear this answer for this question. Yeah, I might need to clip this. OG, you still stand on that James a better long ball shooter than Kobe?
Well, he has. In this particular, wait a minute, hold on. Yes.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
SB.
Are we going?
You see?
Yeah. So now what we're doing is we're going off this playoff series, which is terrible. Don't get me wrong.
Terrible.
Which is terrible.
I'm going off his whole career.
I'm glad you mentioned his whole career, because just so you know, James, I believe he's had 8 seasons, 8 of them, where he shot 35% or more or better on the long ball. That's better than Kobe Bryant.
But you know, like Kobe was a bad shot selector. But he's not a better. James not a better shooter than Kobe.
So because your shot selection was bad. Your shot selection is worse than mine, but you're still a better shooter than me because it looks better, even though I produce more.
No, it don't look better if he.
That's exactly what you're saying. So clarify what you're saying.
Kobe was just a gun. That's
it. So he's a gun and he's shooting all over the place. Meanwhile, he's a gun that's shooting all over the place. Meanwhile, I'm shooting where I'm good throughout the course of my career. I'm having a difficult time, and I'm not on the fence. I'm right up here. Anybody that knows me, Ox will tell you, James, get off the long ball line, yo. Get off the long ball line because you're killing us.
Oh, you was talking about LeBron James? Yes. I thought you was talking about James Harden.
Okay, here's what we got to do. We got to decipher. We got to have some common ground with this LeBron and Kobe better shooter thing. In terms of contested shots, who's a better shooter?
Long ball shooter.
All right. In terms of open threes, who shoots better?
Kobe.
For their career?
Yes. In terms of open threes, who shoots better?
Most likely Kobe.
LeBron? Somebody said Kobe. Somebody said LeBron.
Most likely.
Okay. In terms of contested threes, who shoots better?
Most likely Kobe.
Most likely Kobe.
And James get left open too. That's you ain't talking about that. James.
That's why I said open. That's why I said open and contested.
Which is kind of crazy too, because the majority of his career he was left open. How'd that go?
Bad. He lost. How many playoff series he lost because he couldn't shoot?
He lost. I mean, we're talking about the all-time leading scorer.
Man, come on.
All-time leading scorer, bro.
You rather
really
me shoot.
Just bring that up.
Yes.
You rather me shoot. And how'd that go?
They lost to the Spurs twice because he couldn't shoot.
All right.
I just asked that. I just asked that.
I think we got it. I think we got to go on. I think we got to go on.
They lost to the Spurs because he couldn't shoot, but they beat the Spurs because he could shoot.
When?
You don't remember 2013? There's a banner hanging up in Miami. It's 2012, 2013.
Ray Allen missed that three. That series is over.
Wait a minute. Whoa.
We talking about Game 7.
Right. LeBron scored the last 10. I ain't going before you even say that. We know.
No, we talking about Game 7 when Kawhi went under the screen and Brown pulled up and hit that mid-range.
Ice the game. With
28 seconds.
Ice the game. Ice the game.
What about the long ball?
What about and we also talking about the long ball? Correct. I believe that year in 2013, I believe he shot 40% on the long ball for the season that year. Bryant's never done that. ever.
We got this is
I will say, listen, Leaf. I will say this. As far as LeBron as a shooter for his whole career, I will say he's average at best. And on occasion, he has the ability to become a good to great shooter. On occasion, we done seen nights he done hit 6 threes, 8 threes. But as far as this overall career, I will put him at an average shooter at best.
Who's had above average seasons from time to time.
Right.
That's
right.
fair.
Right.
All right, I can get that.
But okay,
Now,
as an average 3-point shooter.
That's coming as a Bron fan too.
Yeah.
Like you know what I'm saying? Like I see.
So
I
you're
know
not
what
putting
I see.
him over Kobe as a
shooter. No way.
As a shooter,
as a long ball shooter. Don't just say shooter.
Long ball.
As a long ball shooter.
As a 3-point shooter, you're not putting him over Kobe.
Or a mid-range shooter.
No.
Anything shooting the ball, I'm taking Kobe over LeBron every day.
As an overall player, I'm taking Bron. That's a different debate. But
OG,
long ball shooter.
OG, this is my
I got to keep it real.
I had to mess with you about that because Bron been playing bad. I had to mess with you about that. But okay, so I'm seeing the Celtics get dominated. I blame more the Celtics, trash Zula, as the coach because he can't beat a zone. But I don't believe that zone will work against the Lakers or the Nuggets. And I think the Lakers and Nuggets can't beat the Heat because now you got Joker in the middle making those passes. You got Bron or AD who can shoot that meaty shot. So I don't think that zone will work effectively against the Nuggets and the Lakers because of those reasons. What do you think? And the Nuggets got the shooters on the outside and Jokic can make the passes up the middle to the shooters.
Well, simply what you just mentioned, the fact that when you got a 2-3 zone, you got a 1-3-1 zone. You put the guy at the free throw line, the big guy at the free throw line, and he facilitates the offense, right? Especially when you want to speed it up. But if you got a big guy like Anthony Davis who can knock down a 16-footer regularly, in fact, that's how the Lakers won an NBA championship in 2020 because he was money in his mid-range game. So if you're gonna play zone against the Lakers, it can't be for a long time, which would explain why Spoelstra last night he had to come out of that zone and he went to a matchup zone because the zone that he had where Jason Tatum was basically beaten, what they had pick and roll action and he was beating Jimmy Butler and now he's got Jimmy Butler on his hip. Now he's able to drop it off to Grant Williams on the back line. Now he's able to drop it off to Marcus Smart. He's able to drop it off to Jaylen Brown. He's able to drop it off to Derek White on the perimeter. But that's all facilitated with him picking him up that high. If you got Anthony Davis at the top, right? If you got Anthony Davis at the free throw line or in the mid post, I'm so confident with him being at the free throw line, being able to knock down that shot. And if they close out on him, he can beat Kevin Love to the basket. Yep. He could beat Bam to the basket. I'm sure of that. So that zone, I don't think that's something that'll last a long time. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, but hopping back more on these series, just for the record, Boston has been down 2-0 before, has lost 2 games down 2-0 and won the series. Yeah, they have. They done it back in 2017. When they was down to Chicago, when they was down to the Bulls, and then Rondo got hurt. Then they won.
Oh man, that don't count.
I'm just throwing it out.
2017. That's 5-6 years ago.
You're dirty, Leaf.
Hold up.
You hit me with a low blow with that one. You're dirty, Leaf. Don't bring up.
Why am I dirty? I'm not saying it like it never happened. I'm not saying it like it never happened. That's what I'm saying that it happened before.
All I know is if Rondo don't break it. All I know is if Rondo don't break his hand, Boston is out.
And that'd have been the second. This would have been the second number 1 seed. Jimmy would have beat as an 8th seed.
Yeah. If Rondo don't break his hand,
we can say that. That's fair to say. But however, the way you was about the Warriors, and I know everybody stands true about the Lakers series, bro. But in this particular Boston series, bro, I'm not convinced. But simply because the Sixers had them dead. They had them dead after Game 5. They ran in them on Game 5 on their home court and served them, and then in Game 6 laid an egg and then came back to Boston and got destroyed.
Hey, Leaf.
Hey, OG,
real quick, D-Reed, that's a fact. But we almost at the 2-hour mark. We got
right. I can't get a couple more.
We got a couple more super chats to read and whatnot. So I do gotta move along, fellas. But appreciate y'all for pulling up. Appreciate all the content.
Appreciate it too, Bobby. Man, I'll see you late. Yo, Chill Town.
Can I ask this one question? Can I ask this one question? Get your answer off. Hey, so as far as Jimmy Butler, if he wins a title this year, my top 5 shooting guards, I would have to say.
I already took Reggie out for him already.
Jordan, right? Jordan.
Hold on,
Jordan.
Let him get it off.
I had Jordan, Kobe, D Wade. I don't know how y'all feel about Ray Allen. I love Ray Allen as a shooting guard, especially Milwaukee. I'm having a debate between Clay at 5. I'm not sure, but I feel like if Jimmy was to win the ring, I feel like I would have to put in top 5 shooting guard all the time.
What about Clyde?
That's if he win a ring.
Can't do it.
I know we got time to talk about it. Whenever you come back up, either fan away on Bro Channel, we need to talk. We need to talk about that, bro.
So, I can't do that, but
me neither.
But I mean, I feel where you're coming from, but I can't do that. I can't put some of those guys above Manu Ginobili either. But that's just me. But we'll get up out of here after these couple super chats.
Yes, sir.
We're about 30 seconds. We're about 30 seconds away from our limit, but we can't neglect any super chats.
No, we will not.
Especially from the GOAT Angie Carr. What's up, fam? If y'all were the commissioner and your first decision was to expand the league to Seattle and Mexico City, but you have to choose 2 existing teams to relocate, which teams y'all choosing?
First of all, I ain't taking a team from no city. That's number one. But I am putting the team in Seattle. Before we even think about talking about any other city, the NBA has to be back in Seattle. 100%.
Has to. Doing Seattle a big disservice. Doing the NBA itself a big disservice not having a team.
Yes, sir.
They got every other major sport, but basketball.
Right.
But yeah, I wouldn't want to take any teams away. Off the top of my head, I can't really think of any 2 that I would relocate.
Me neither.
Probably, you know what? Actually, I would. The Lakers and the Warriors, they could go.
Get the Lakers up out of here.
From Jay, nobody respects Bron from the 3-point line. Nobody's backing off of Kobe.
I'm glad you brought that up. And how's that gone? How is that gone? I mean, I watched James knock down buzzer beaters. Like, nobody respects James from the long ball line. Hit a buzzer beater against Indiana. Hit a buzzer beater against Cleveland. Hit a buzzer beater against Orlando, right? So nobody respects him as a long ball shooter. Meanwhile, what has that produced? What has it produced? I'm tired of y'all. I would rather him score. Well, how's that worked out for him?
Let me see. We got one more right here. Heat and Pho. 6 more to go.
I just don't think we're coming back to Boston, B. I don't. I don't see it, man.
Go crazy. I feel the same way. I'm still not sure about that one, Chilton, man. I don't know. I got 5, 6 at the most, but I don't know. I don't know about the brooms yet. Well, I appreciate all the viewers for stopping by. This was another great episode of Chill with Chilltown. Of course, we appreciate you for giving your time to the viewers. I will leave y'all with that, Love yourself, read a book, don't drink and drive. Chilltown, you got anything to leave the people with?
Take it light, but take it.